just here he is. Right, and we're live. We're live, everybody. Welcome to the show, Anglo Gang 46. We're here every Sunday, 7 o'clock. This is a Peace and Love live stream. Everything we say on here is satire, and we are against violence, and we love everybody. And let's play the intro. Let's see if we still get the goosebumps. I don't know. Let's see. Is it still working? Is it still kicking off? Here we go. Is the volume up?
Britain is one of the greatest countries in the history of the world. You are the country of Shakespeare, the steam engine. You defeated Napoleon. You destroyed the slave trade. My country, America, became great as it is because of what we inherited from you, from Britain.
Oh man,
Britain is one of the greatest countries.
Still gets me. Still fucking gets me every time. Jesus Christ. This is my favorite part of it. Where is it? Here he is. Oh, I'm just obsessed with Cromwell at the moment.
Any reason?
Well, we gotta, just fed up with those aristocrats ruining the country. We're a bunch of bastards.
I used to share a meme about Cromwell every Christmas, wishing you the kind of Christmas that Cromwell would want to ban every year.
Yeah, no Christmas. Yeah.
Well, there is the good news. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Because I hear that Father Dumas will give us $7,000 if we're good.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I heard they're having a Happy Hanukkah celebration down in Australia, aren't they? So it's all kicking off down there. It's all kicking off down under. All right, well, let's get into it. As always, I've done my prep. So we'll go through the prep. Here we go. Fucking hell, 25. We'll go through it and then we'll go on and we'll talk about Nick Fuentes because that is the big story of the week. But number one, I've got some guy called Tharium who keeps sending me these pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like what's going on. It keeps flooding my my ex with titties, We've got OnlyFans, United Kingdom, £531 million on OnlyFans. Don't know what's going on there. We've got Bonnie Blue is endorsing Reform UK. Absolute insanity. They kick everybody else out, but they accept Bonnie Blue, right? So Rupert Lowe's no good. Yeah. Literal whore. A literal whore. We'll get back and we'll talk about these stories individually. Bangladeshi guy, SJJ's best friend.
Oh, poor SJJ.
Either SJJ or it's his friend. I'm not sure. We can't tell at this point. But he's, Rupert Lowe's no good. But this guy, immigrants, we'll have him. Mm-hmm. We've got there's just some nonsense, and now we're down into the big story itself. The Piers Morgan, Nick Fuentes. We've got clips. We've got more clips. We got Piers Morgan's wife, who's a total whore. We got more clips. We've got this guy. I mean, this is the typical Piers Morgan Trump card. He brings on a Jew to complain about his mom getting gassed, and nobody gives a shit. The younger generation doesn't care. We got even more clips of Piers Morgan's wife being a whore. And then we've got Tim Pool having a complete crash out about Candy Sowens. We'll have to talk about that. Here's the 200-yard steel plate clip. We've got Fuentes supports Israel. We've got photos of Epstein, so we'll have a look at that. We've got this guy who I found on Twitter who wants to have a great national strike next year. As you all know, I want to march on Parliament and force a general election. Oh, I forgot to put that in the thing. Bulgaria's had a revolution, so we'll talk about that.
Just wait now. By the way, Bulgaria's had a revolution.
Just totally forgot. Yeah, I know. Too much. It took me an hour to get all this together. We got some comedy golds. We may have a third world war. I mean, this is the first time I've seen Putin actually like give us a straightforward message to the West. So I don't know. It's kind of scary. We've got the raise the flags, raise the colors. They're going over to France. They're sabotaging the dinghies. Absolute legends. Deserve to be praised. Good news story of the week. Carl Rittenhouse has just got married. Base Carl Rittenhouse. And then, of course, we've got Australia. But we'll get to that at the end. So, I mean, I guess we'll start with a Nick Fuentes clip. We'll scroll all the way back up here. Here we go. There's so many clips. I don't even know which one this is, but we'll start with this one.
Who do you think commits the vast majority of the mass shootings?
I'm sure it's white people.
Right. So how do you feel about that?
I think that white people do more antisocial violence. I think black people participate in more gang violence. I think that's the difference.
What's the difference to the victims?
There's no difference to the victim, but it's a different kind of crime. And it's a different proportion also. Do you know what percentage of white people are school shooters?
I know that the vast majority of mass shootings in schools in America this century were perpetrated by young white men. And I'm just,
what proportion
I'm curious. I'm curious wher your advice would be to people who have kids in these schools.
Is my mic working?
Should they avoid white people?
Anyway, you get the idea. This is the face of the Zoomer generation. It's this. It's like, do you understand per capita statistics? Like, what is going on? Anyway, very classic debate. Everybody's talking about it. The internet's been talking about it for a week. It's your first time on the show, Mock. What do I call you, Moch or what?
Yeah, you can call me Moch if you want.
Okay, Moch. So what's your comment, Moch?
I'm also interested as to where he's getting his stats, given the dumb way that America counts mass shootings in schools. It's literally like any discharge of a firearm near a school is considered a school shooting. So I'm surprised they haven't managed to cook those stats. But no, the entire Fuentes interview was boomers versus zoomers. It's the epitome of all of those like incidences that happen on Twitter every couple of weeks, where you'll see like a boomer have a hot take about like the housing market and just get absolutely dogpiled. It was very much that.
Yep, definite generation gap going on here. They always seem to revert to the mass shootings. Guns up bad.
It was putting a lot of like brackets on that. So mass shootings at schools within like this time frame. You're narrowing the scope here, aren't you? Rather than just violence.
Pretty much.
And then, like he was saying, well, what's the difference? Well, they're dead, Piers. It doesn't matter how you were killed, where you were killed. You're dead.
Yeah, people don't. I mean, I don't know. You haven't got to be on the internet for long to just figure out that 13% of the population is committing 50% of the crime.
Yeah,
and
it's more than that.
Well, yeah,
because they sort of fudge things a bit. It is actually more than that, which is. Yeah,
and the thing about U.S. mass shootings that they consider school shootings or whatever is basically anything that's not gang violence isn't considered a mass shooting. Yeah, at a school. So they just drop that from the statistics entirely.
Yeah,
well, I keep thinking about things like Columbine. When the Columbine shooters, basically the bullied who broke the heads.
It's usually losers. Yeah. You can see in the pictures. These are kids who have clearly all been bullied. No doubt they're on antidepressants, so they feel nothing. And then,
And they were homosexuals. Fun fact. They're gay lovers.
Oh,
really? Are a lot of them gay?
Keep that quiet. The Columbine.
Yep, they did.
I hadn't heard that.
Well, I mean, did you know that the vast majority of gay people are left-handed?
Did not know that.
Yeah, look it up. Ask Rock. Somebody in the chat, ask Rock, and we'll post it. But I mean, that kind of blew my mind away.
You heard it here, folks.
A couple of years ago. Did you guys not know that? Like, if really, or I'm not sure if the most gay people are left-handed, or most people that are left-handed are gay. But there's something like if you're left-handed, you're more likely to be gay. Put it that way. So watch out for those left-handed.
I thought it was a finger thing as well. Like one of the fingers is longer than the other way around, or something. Or is it a toe? I don't know.
I think that's a transgender thing where if your ring finger is longer than your index finger, that's like the sign that it's a male to female something, because like it's different between men or women or whatever.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely. I think. I mean, this is the other thing. Like, obviously, because we had like last week the big conversation between Tucker Carlson and Milo, and Tucker was asking the eternal question, "Why are you gay?" And the answer was because I got molested when I was 12. Yeah. But I do think that there's got to be some biological something. I think, but maybe an inclination. But I think we've all got inclinations. I guess it just depends whether you act on them or not. That's kind of the question. So, I mean, I think there's something to Alex Jones saying that the frogs are gay.
Well, that's the chemicals, isn't it?
Eh?
That's the chemicals. That was real.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah. It'd be foolish to say that the environment's got no effect, or that biology's got no effect on whether you're gay or not. Because I mean, we do know that testosterone levels are dropping in young men, and more young men are gay, right? So it's not just propaganda, is it?
Yeah. Well, are more people gay, or are they just sort of acting it?
I don't know. They look pretty gay to me.
The other thing is testosterone linked to winning as well? Because I heard that winners get a testosterone push and losers get a cortisol push.
Yeah. That's why you got to put your arms in the air and you got to go, "Boosh, I'm winning." Do yeah, it's good. Really, it lifts your mood. It lifts your mood. So you guys don't know this. Like I saw this on a TV show once. There was a bunch of people and they had to jump off a thing, and they had to choose whether to do it or not. And then they made some of them put their arms in the air, and then they were more likely to do it. And apparently, if you just put your arms in the air, it just raises your T levels like straight away.
I've seen some new arrivals do some interesting dances like
that. Okay. Okay, well, let's look at this. I don't know what this clip is. Let's have a look.
In Israel, they have my politics. In Israel, they want to maintain a Jewish majority. If they had it their way, it would only be Jewish people. They're fighting like hell so that Jewish people can have as much territory, a Jewish state. They can be proudly Jewish in their own land. Whereas in America, we are being besieged by 10 million illegal immigrants in 4 years. And then whites and Christians are going to be the minority. And that's true in Canada, Australia, all the countries in Europe, in Israel.
So he's bringing on the Israel point. Good boy. Mm-hmm. Good boy, Fuentes. I mean, he does go on, like, I've got another clip down here of him with Richard Spencer.
There's the people who say, like, they point out Israel, it's not an ethno state, really, because there's a lot of Arabs there. But the Arabs aren't allowed anywhere in politics. They have no actual power there, unlike us, where we sort of, any Muslim, get them into reform. Yes, they're the future.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that should be one of the things we should do. Like, before we even kick these people out, we should just disenfranchise them all, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? Like, you can't vote, and then that's it. I mean, I've seen, like, Conley Drogba talks about this all the time. He's just like, you go to the Middle East and you've got these Arab states, and they're full of, like, Indian guest workers or whatever. Like, Dubai is run on slave labor from India, but those people have no power at all because they can't vote, so they're just not a threat. So even though your country's full of foreigners, they shouldn't actually be a threat if they're not voting.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we've got 20 million foreigners in this country. It's going to take a long time. You can't just click your fingers and get rid of them, right? So the first thing you got to do is just stop them from voting.
Yeah. Make it unlivable for them. They don't get the exact same rights and things or access to the same things, and they'll just leave.
Well, especially as like people are arguing that we need them here for work. So it's like, okay, they can stay. We'll meet you halfway. They can stay to work, but at least for some time, but they can't vote. You know what I mean?
They can't vote. They're not allowed to purchase property. All those simple things.
And then you can just like slowly kind of shoo them on their way. Okay. Well, so that's Fuentes. I don't know,
and you mentioned the Richard Spencer interview or whatever, the conversation. It's funny because in that interview, Nick talked about how he loves diversity and how he loves living in, the big city area, and how, we just kind of need to give up on, remigrating all these people and having a majority white nations, because he just doesn't care. So it's pretty ironic seeing him on Piers, just wherever he goes, just constantly contradict himself, say one thing here, say another thing there, really two-faced, but it comes with the business, being a media personality.
I mean, I'm with you on this one, mate, because we've talked about this before. I've always been like very 50-50 with Fuentes, because we've played clips on the show before where he says, like you just said, he says, "Oh, if you're born in America, you're an American," right? Mm-hmm. He said that when he was talking to Tucker Carlson. And so it's just like this fucking guy. He's a flip-flop. He's all over the place. He says one thing one day, and then he says something the other day. And it's like, oh, I really wish we could just rally behind him, but he's just so all over the place. But but he's just too funny. I can't just bring it in myself to hate him. Do you know what I mean? When he does this interview with
he killed that interview.
Yeah. Fuentes' problem is not his position. It's just where he lives. Unfortunately, like I've said so many times before, the American nationalism is civic nationalism. That's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's hard not to be over there.
I expect it from America because they're not a people.
Yeah, but if you're saying if you're born in America, you are an American.
Which is true.
But it's
it is not for us. We're the old world, but for America, that is true. It's going to destroy them one day.
Okay, but then you're on the side of these what they call them, the anchor babies. He's literally taking the side of anchor babies.
I don't care. That's America. That's their way. That's what they do it. That's how they do it. That's how they want to do it.
I don't have an issue with Americans being this way. It's just when it gets when it gets exported back to the old world, it becomes a massive problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've said time and time again, a lot of political problems in this country are based on American thought processes. This country is a secular nation. Not true. This country has civic nationalism. Not true. It's all Americanisms imposed back on us by people who think for whatever reason they live in America.
Yeah. Well, even the criticism of liberals, isn't it? Like this is coming from America. This whole phrase itself. Oh, the liberals. This is American talk, isn't it? So unfortunately, we just live downstream from our colony. That's just is what it is. Unfortunately, we need to be more like the Greeks, because the Romans were in awe of the Greeks, and they managed to kind of like preserve their culture. But I guess they spoke a different language, so it's slightly different.
Well, no, I mean, America's got a lot of influences that are telling them to hate us.
Yeah. The Greeks and the Italians still get on. They still love each other. I asked my Greek girlfriend about it. I was like, aren't you mad that Mussolini invaded you? And she was just like, nah. Whatever. But she hated the Turks, But anyway, let's just get through these. So this is, I don't know, this fucking stuff.
But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay?
No. But I will say that women are very difficult to be around. Okay. So there's that.
I mean, I know I'm the boomer. I know I'm the boomer here, but actually you're a 27-year-old dinosaur, aren't you? Have you ever had sex?
No, absolutely not.
Wow, says the guy who's never got laid.
Wow. Well, I tell you who does get laid on a regular basis. His wife.
Yeah.
Well, because she wants a hall pass to go into bed with Hollywood, with other men all the time, all across the internet. With this,
She had
guy.
the pool boy, the black pool boy. Yep.
I don't know if he's black. Is he black? He's not very black, is he? He's got a suntan.
Well, American blacks
He
are
was a Mexican.
America. Well, it's something not white, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the Mexican pool bowl.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be being a cuck. It's got to be worse than being gay. That's more humiliating, right?
Before we go much further, this is a question to all the men on the panel. When you slept with Piers Morgan's wife, how did you find her?
Old.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the age difference even between them? I assume it's pretty drastic if she's sleeping around with a bunch of different men.
I think they're quite similar.
She's just same age. She's like 60 something.
She's like 60 something.
Yeah, I mean, she looks good for her age. I don't know what her age is. I could look it up if you want. I'll find out for you, mate, if you're interested. In fact, I'll get a phone number for you if you're interested, mate. I mean, everybody else has had a go. So, I mean,
you should have asked these questions before you met, mate.
Yeah. What does our one female think? What do you think about Piers Morgan's wife being a complete whore?
I think a certain element of it is just rage bait. Like, she is a gossip columnist. Living this kind of life publicly is like a lot of it just feels like an extension of the very sort of boomer "I hate my wife, I hate my husband" attitude that you see in a lot of like old style newspaper comics. But
right.
No, she is absolutely just publicly sort of cucking her husband for her own enjoyment, I guess. Like that it does come across almost like a fetish, the extent to which she humiliates him online.
Well, I will say, like, this is something that has changed in our culture, in that, as you just said, like, old school stand-up comedians, they would always tell jokes about their wives. And my wife this and my wife that. And I guess with women it's the same. They would complain about their husbands or whatever. And that's been completely eliminated from our culture now because nobody's married anymore. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I guess it's a different generation where husbands and wives do make fun of each other, but she is kind of taking it to an extreme, isn't she? You know what I mean?
I mean, there was a couple of weeks ago, there was this other privileged little princess that was like married to some sort of comedian called Sign, that Indian guy. I don't know if you guys saw that floating around, where she was publicly, talking about how she slept with all these men in college and all these things, while her husband thinks she's like some sort of like virgin and his girl. And then all these videos are coming out of her just basically shaming him and rejecting him in public or on live streams on his show, just making a complete fool of him. So it's definitely some sort of fetish to it and some sort of like superiority fetish to it, because she thinks she's better than Piers at the end of the day, kind of like that other lady. Too good for him.
That last guy, wasn't that Neville from Harry Potter?
Him?
Yeah. You know the fat guy from kid from Harry Potter. Isn't that guy?
Like Cillian? No, that's Fuck, I don't know.
Neville Longbottom, is it? Is that
that's his actual name.
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. Leo Woodall. It's Leo Woodall. So I don't know. Google it. She's 50.
Apparently, he's been in some Netflix things.
Yeah, it might be him.
He's only 29. He's too young to have been in Harry Potter.
Oh, there you go.
Piers Morgan's wife, she did have an Ashley Madison account too, that cheating website. She doesn't look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. This is... I mean, I don't know. It's just insane. I like this one especially. Like, come on, man. Like, if my wife did this, I'd be like, just...
There'd be talk. You'd be talks. There'd certainly be an argument about it afterwards.
Yeah, I mean,
At the very
I get like she's a journalist, okay, but still, no. And I'd make her delete the post. I mean, if she was my wife, I'd divorce her a long time ago. But do you know what I mean? Like, how can you tolerate this? It's just really weird.
She's even like saying this guy had taken a vow of abstinence at the time. Shame.
Yeah, I think part of that is just very sort of boomer woman humor. Like that's the kind of jokes I can imagine like some of my older aunts or whatever making. But no, the fact she does it this frequently and to this extent, and like compiled with all the other shit she has written about Piers over the years, it's just like nah.
Yeah,
that is beyond.
And what does it say about Piers that he sort of just goes along with it all?
Oh, that he likes it, clearly.
Yeah. Like you shouldn't be humiliating your wife or husband like that, especially when they're public, especially.
Well, it's just very strange because he's a rich guy. He's rich and he's famous, and women are attracted to wealth and they're attracted to fame. So he should be able to get himself some starry-eyed girl that just likes him because he's Piers Morgan. But he doesn't. He chooses a woman that doesn't like him. It's a very interesting thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a mistake that men make actually quite a lot. In that a lot of guys they chase up the girl that doesn't like them instead of going for the girl that does. And I think there's some kind of like ego problem there or something. Yeah, I mean, like my personal dating advice.
I mean, I've done that before, but like she was fat.
Because I've gone in all kinds of problems chasing girls that don't like me. Instead of doing that, what you got to do is you got to find a girl that gives you the look, and then it's like, oh, she likes it. And then you just go for that. You make your life 10 times easier.
But I've had the look from like fat chicks, and that's just not going to happen.
Well, you got to get the look from somebody who's half decent, mate. That's the trick. That's the trick. That's how you solve that problem. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like personally, like I've chased after some beautiful women or some whatever women that didn't like me, and it always ends in disaster. But then you find a girl that just is kind of interested in you, she likes you, and it's like picking a flower. Like the girl is the flower, and she blossoms, and you pick the flower, right? But she's got to blossom, she's got to smile at you, she's got to give you the look, and then all you got to do is pluck it. And I think there's a lot of guys out there. I met a guy once, a German guy who had a German wife. His wife didn't like him at all. She just didn't fucking like him. But this guy was obsessed with her, and he wanted her, and he wanted her. And because he chased her and he chased her and he chased her, he got her, and he married her, and he thought, yeah, I've got her now. But she still didn't like him. So I think, and I've seen a couple of guys do this kind of thing. So I don't think it's just Piers Morgan. I think it's just a mistake that men in general can make for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why they make it, but they do. So there you go.
I mean, he's probably into some weird, disgusting, kinky fetish shit also. That's what I think at the end of it. I think he's just a disgusting freak, and his wife provides his disgusting freak fetish.
He seems the type.
Yeah, maybe he's in the cuck chair.
Oh no, he's definitely in the cuck chair. I wouldn't be surprised if Piers has been pegged.
Wow. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He looks like a man who likes taking it up the bum.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Whatever it is, he's certainly not a guy that should be giving people advice on their dating life.
When this is your public personal life, going after anyone else's personal life just seems like inherently a bad idea.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting how the just complete different moral frameworks that the two of them are coming at. Like Piers is trying to shame him for not being like sleeping around with a load of women, and like Nick. Well, I mean, okay, let's pretend he's straight. He's. He's living up to the Catholic virtue of saving himself until marriage. Like you're trying to shame him for not being a man whore. It doesn't work, Piers. You retard.
This feels like Piers Morgan is trying to sort of vicariously win like a playground argument in the 1980s. He's just like, oh my god, it kind of feels like he's used to being the one who's told, oh, you virgin, you can't get laid, and he's just trying to like win that argument that he lost in his youth against someone else.
Yeah.
I also find it quite interesting how Piers loses against Nick Fuentes in exactly the same way that he loses against what's his name? Mizzy, or I think that was his name. Just that black teenager who sort of made the rounds a couple years ago for just doing home invasions, and he just Mizzy's also a Zoomer, and obviously a very different kind of Zoomer to Nick Fuentes. But Piers Morgan could not argue against either of them, even slightly.
Hang on, when did Piers he spoke to Mizzy? Was that a really annoying guy? I just remember seeing a video. There was a guy, and he got into somebody's car.
The little black kid.
Yeah, he was just like wandering around filming himself, just wandering into people's houses if they had their front door open. All that kind of thing.
That prick. Yeah. So he talked to Piers Morgan back in the day?
Yeah, he went on Piers Morgan when he was like making the rounds, and he was in a very similar way to Nick Fuentes, just completely unapologetic for everything he did. Now, obviously, Mizzy's a piece of shit, but it stumped Piers Morgan in exactly the same way this did.
Yeah.
The boomer is not prepared for the Zoomer.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Do you also hate boomers?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm 21 and I rent. Of course I hate boomers.
Yeah, no, I hate them too. It's hard not to, isn't it? I kind of feel like we, on one level, perhaps it's a bit of a psyop in that, you know, it is a Marxist technique to kind of like make, you know, to wage generational war and to like make you hate your grandparents and so on and so forth. And I do feel like the boomers, when they were given the opportunity, they voted for Trump and they voted for Brexit. So I don't know if they're as bad as people make them out to be, but nonetheless, they're pretty bad. They are pretty bad. Yeah.
They are the worst
generational
generation.
fumble.
They are the worst generation in history. And despite doing that, they're still going to say, well, I need more immigrants to come wipe my ass. And you're not getting any inheritance. So fuck you.
Yeah. Well, this is the problem at the end of the day, isn't it? Because they do literally make these arguments that we need immigration to work jobs so they can pay taxes, so they can pay for the pensions. I mean, this is
their fucking pensions that they've done fuck all nothing to deserve. These fucking boomers didn't fight a war, but I deserve my pension. No, you don't. Oh,
I love it whenever they hit us with the, oh, but I paid in all my life, and then you just sort of get to sit and explain how, like, they actually think there's a big pot of money somewhere. They actually think that. I feel like I need the little ratus thing from Horrible Histories. It's like, this is what they actually believed.
Yeah. It's like, well, why did you pay? Why did you pay into this money? Why didn't you just keep it for yourself then? Save it. Because, of course, that's not how the system works.
Yeah, and whenever I have this discussion with the boomers in my life, I'm like, yeah, and I'm paying in now, fully aware that there probably won't be a state pension by the time I get to that age. So, you know, do I get to be mad about that? And then they just don't have a response, because a lot of them are aware enough to realise that I'm probably right that there won't be a state pension by the time I hit the age. But
they'll be dead by then. Who cares?
Yeah, they don't. It's literally screw them kids, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had the talk. If I didn't drink so much coffee, I'd be able to afford a house.
Oh yeah.
First of all, I drink fucking Aldi coffee. I haven't been to a Costa in like 10 years or Starbucks, anything like that. Far too expensive. So
you must be drinking a lot of coffee. You must be drinking like a truckload of coffee every day or something.
No, it's just a go-to response, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you didn't drink so much coffee, you'd be able to afford a fucking house. It's like, but you don't know anything about me.
The one I always get is the like, oh, you spend so much money on subscriptions. I have Spotify, and that is it. Actually, no, and Twitter, I guess. But I just sort of have to bring up the graph, and it's like, would you like to see how much cable TV costs and how much I am not paying for that?
Yeah.
It's like boomers act like Zoomers have these exuberant lifestyles, but we don't pay for a lot of the things they do, like cable TV, like that kind of thing. But they don't consider that, you know, they're equivalent creature comforts.
Okay, I feel like I have to play devil's advocate here and defend the boomers, because once upon a time I saw a comment on the internet blaming boomers and Gen X, and I'm Gen X, and I'm kind of thinking, whoa, well, hang on a minute, is this hatred? Is this intergenerational hatred going to come for me next? Like, I don't want to see that happen. So I do feel like. So what was I going to say to defend them? Yeah. So I mean, in defense of the boomers, like I said, they voted for Trump, they voted for Brexit, and they never fell for the woke stuff. I mean, let's just lay this down. The woke thing was the millennial generation. It wasn't Gen X, and it wasn't the Zoomers. It was a decade of millennial thought.
Oh, I disagree.
You blame the boomers for that as well? Wow.
I don't blame them. Okay, I blame Gen X for a lot of the woke stuff. Like my parents are Gen X, and a lot of my teachers were Gen X. The ideas didn't necessarily come from them. A lot of quote unquote woke is the brainchild of millennials on Tumblr circa 20 years ago. Well, not quite 20, but a lot of that did come from there. But you know, when I was in school, I was being taught by Gen X teachers, and we were being taught, you know, Black Lives Matter and gender's a spectrum. Like that was coming directly from the mouths of Gen X. And they were very quick to adopt absolutely everything during sort of peak woke 2020 era. You know, it wasn't necessarily millennials who were putting all of that stuff into, you know, mandatory office training. Like millennials may have been pushing the ideas, but it was absolutely like that was 5 years ago. We weren't quite at the level where millennials are the higher ups within things like HR to be pushing those things. Like I think that very much was from Gen X.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, I'd have to give you a hard disagree on that, because everybody that I know in my generation just thought the woke stuff was nonsense. So I mean, maybe some of the teachers spearheaded it, but it very much seemed to me that it was just something that was believed in by the younger generation, not by. I mean, by the way, I'm like very late gen. I'm like right on the cusp of the millennial generation, but it seemed to me, something that was pushed forward by young people, not by me. And the boomers and the Gen Xers just laughed at it. They all just thought, what's wrong with these young people? They're all crazy.
No, I agree. I agree with Moch on this. You know what the millennials' real sin was? Not rebellion enough and trying to please the boomers. That's their biggest sin. That took you all on board and took on the boomer dream. And then when they came to age, they kind of think, oh, hold on, this boomer dream isn't working. What's going on? And we get told things where you're buying too much coffee, you too many subscriptions, stop having avocados.
Yeah.
I mean, like what she was saying, you thought, oh, it's all just going to stay in the universities, right? These kids will grow out of it. That was the sort of attitude of the boomers and Gen X. Didn't happen though, did it? It spread.
This is the danger of this stuff. This is why, I have boomer parents, and they're fucking awful, and all my uncles and aunties, they really are genuinely very selfish people.
Yeah.
So I understand the boomer hatred, but I just worry that if we get too into it, we're just going to tear ourselves to pieces. Because the fact of the matter is, the reason you can't buy a house is not really because of the boomers. It's because of mass immigration. And you could blame that on the boomers, but that's really because of the elites that opened the border. And the boomers did vote to stop immigration.
How many boomers are willing to give up their pension though?
Well, I mean, why should they? Like,
because it's fucking destroying us. You know, let's say there wasn't any evil going on. Just the fucking pensions means just to try and keep that going is why they sort of have all the immigration.
Yeah, I understand this. I mean, I don't know, like, if you could honestly say that if you were an old boomer and you're too tired to work, that you'd voluntarily give up your pension when nobody else would. But they did vote for Brexit, and they did vote for Donald Trump, and they did laugh at all the woke stuff. They didn't fall for any of it. They do think it's stupid. They are the ones that are voting for reform. They are the ones that are supporting Rupert Lowe. They are the ones that think that the younger generation is stupid. And people can go blah, 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 how based and red-pilled the Zoomers are. I've talked to plenty of Zoomer girls, and point blank about the trans issue. And I've just said, look, you got young women and they're mutilating themselves, they're cutting their tits off, and they look at me and they go, yeah, what's the problem? So some of the Zoomer generation is based. A lot of them are complete retards.
Oh yeah, well, that's absolutely true. I mean, you can look at just like the data on the diverging sort of political trends between men and women among Zoomers. It's ridiculous how sort of you look at it. It's like a Sankey diagram going off in two completely different directions. You get the men are going hard right, whereas the women are going very hard left. And obviously, you know, as I think the best way to describe it is being right wing is culturally cool again, I suppose, in a way that it really hasn't been for the last decade.
See, I think that my issue with the boomers is I can accept every evil done by the millennials speaking as a millennial, but what winds me up the most about boomers is they'll still go, oh, I didn't do it. We got nothing to own up to.
Yeah, that's true.
I also think a mindset you. Hang on.
They don't seem to have any regret. I'd absolutely agree with that. I mean, I think partly that's like the myth of retirement. I think they've been sold this lie, which is all tied in with the pensions and so on and so forth. But they've been sold this lie whereby, oh, when you get old, you won't have to work anymore, and you'll be able to enjoy life. And they've fallen for it, which is, of course, is complete nonsense, because you should enjoy life when you're young and you're virile and you're full of energy. That's when you want to enjoy life. You don't want to enjoy life when you've got fucking grey hair and your tits are sagging down by your knees, right? But they believe it. They think their old age is for enjoyment. Whereas I think in like previous generations, I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming in previous generations, people of an older age would be more reflective and would be you know, the tribal guardians of society, giving good advice to the younger generation. But the boomers just seem to not care at all, and they've got all of the life experience to do it.
It's their time for a cruise now. Fuck you, young people. Pay for my cruise.
The Richard Tice position of, well, I won't worry about it, I'll be dead by then.
Yeah, I think it's a uniquely boomer mindset that very much like, yes, my own kids should pull themselves up by the bootstraps. And it's not even in a sort of a suffering builds character way. It's, I had to do it this way, therefore you should too. It's not even a case of like, they think that people will improve to improve in terms of character by having to go through difficulties to achieve things. They genuinely seem to be of the belief of, well, I had to go through hard thing, and therefore you have to go through hard thing, even if I am in a position to prevent you from having to go through hard thing.
Even though our hard thing is a hell of a lot harder.
Yeah.
we can't just go get a part-time job and then buy a house.
Yeah, I saw a comment in the chat earlier. It was like, "Oh, just settle down at 18 and you'll have a mortgage that'll be far cheaper than rent." I know. I'm very well aware of how much cheaper a mortgage would be. I struggle to get approved for a rental lease.
Yeah, wow.
You know, I'm on a waitress's salary. You know, I'm not getting approved for a mortgage.
Yeah, and that's the big problem with the older generations, particularly boomers, is the outright naivety to the gravity of the situation that we're currently in. I mean, just simple statistics, like the average age someone is exposed to porn these days is like 13. Like the average, the middle ground. So there's half of the people are experiencing and seeing these things even younger than that. And you try to tell it to these people and you tell them, and then they kind of like, oh, that's like really bad and stuff, but they just don't care about it afterwards. Just like, well, it's not that bad. Things aren't surely that crazy. I mean, I chewed out my dad a few years ago because he voted for Tim Walz again. I'm like, dude, he burned the town burned down. He didn't do anything about it. He locked everyone up, and he literally had a phone call, a call line, so you can like snitch on people, like they had in the USSR. I'm like, why'd you do this? And he's like, oh, well, you know, Scott Jensen wanted to take away public school funding. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Just like this one silly little irrelevant thing. So you wouldn't put Walz back in. And that's the thing about here, because we have an election coming up next year for our governorship. And at this point in time, I think Tim Walz is going to win again. And that's frightening.
Yeah. But do you think, like, I know I'm playing devil's advocates here, and you all hate, I can feel the intensity of your boomer rage, but do you feel like, do you do you feel like this intergenerational hatred could go haywire? Or do you think the hatred for the boomers is just a one-off? Or do you think, like, once all the boomers are dead, the left are going to capitalize on this, and it will be the Zoomers hating the millennials, or the Alpha generation hating the Zoomers, or whatever? Do you think it's a divide and conquer tactic?
I think this is a lot further away, but I think Gen Alpha are absolutely gonna hate, probably even still the boomers, to be honest, but millennials and Gen X especially, purely because of, like, in about 2040, when the lockdown babies are coming into adulthood, that there's gonna be something happening there. I'm not even sure what.
So this is what I'm saying. It's like we're hating each other, whereas what the real problem is the foreigners that are coming in.
Usually with generational divides, it's usually the older generation sort of fretting over the younger generation. You know, called juvenoia. Have you heard that expression before?
No.
Well, basically, it's older generations despairing about what the new generation gets up to. Like, it wasn't unlike that in our generation.
Yeah.
So I think there's always been generational tensions, but boomers have a special kind of hate. And you know what? I mean, when Gen Alphas come to the age and they start throwing millennials did this, millennials did that. As a millennial, I go, let me have a look. Yeah, they did do that. Yeah, good point. Boomers will not admit any failing. It's what winds me up the most about them.
Okay, but is that good that we just hate each other instead of hating, like, the real problem, which
it's not good or bad. I mean, you're always going to have a bit of generational friction. Like, you're never going to get rid of it.
Okay, I just think it could spiral out of control, because the real reason you can't buy a house isn't really because of the boomers. It's because of Pakistan and India. I'm just saying. And in America, it's because of the Mexicans. Now, you could blame that on the boomers, but really it's because of mass immigration. That's the real reason. And this is what it all really boils down to. Nobody can buy a house. At the end of the day, putting all the woke stuff aside, people want to buy houses so they can get married and they can have kids. And people are angry because they can't do that. It all boils down to property, really. It's, at the end of the day, everything. Like, can you buy a house or not? If you can't, then you're fucked, right? And that's not really the fault of the boomers, as far as I understand it. It's mass immigration. I'm just saying. I'm just playing devil's. I mean, I just got to say this because.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
We just like the boomers to be less selfish. How about you, like, work for us for a bit, your grandchildren?
Yeah, I mean, mass immigration is absolutely a reason that we can't get housing in the UK. But, you know, from the perspective of the Zoomers, it is, you know, it's mostly older, like, it's not millennial or Zoomer elites who have brought all of these people in. It's people from older generations. So, you know, it's specific boomers, but it is still boomers. And then in a more direct sense, when you get, it's mostly boomers who are taking advantage of the current situation and making it worse. You know, like, it's the problem of there being too many, you know, infinity Bomalians in the country who are the reason it's so difficult to find somewhere to live. But it's boomer landlords who are, you know, chopping up their house into an HMO with 7 properties inside it, rather than making it a single family home, because it's more profitable to rent to 7 to a room infinity Bomalians than it would be to just sell to, you know, a young couple trying to start a family. It's, you know, you can blame the infinity Bomalians for being here, but they're not the ones who own the property most of the time. Obviously, you get incidences of slumlords, but it is still very much the boomers who are, you know, they're only following incentives because, again, the government has made it so that the incentive is to rent to the infinity Bomalians.
Yeah.
But they are still the one, like, I think a lot of the intergenerational hatred comes from the fact that, you know, we're seeing them do that.
Yeah, and thinking it's fine. and everything's okay while the house is burning down around them.
Yeah.
Or even like one thing they could do is, you know, their house that they bought years ago for £10,000. How about you sell that, downsize a bit, and like, you know, help your grandkids out? But no, none of them think that. It's like, I own this house. Fuck you, grandkids.
Yeah.
Even though they don't need that house, probably it's probably bigger than what they need.
Yeah, no, I got to agree. It's messed up, and I don't know. I just thought I'd play devil's advocate because then it makes you a lot more angry, which is good for the show. So we could talk about this guy, or we could just move. Should we move on to Candice Owens?
Sure.
Let's go on to the Queen.
Let's go on it because I've got no fucking idea what's going on here. I've hoped that you guys can explain it to me. But anyway, here's Tim Pool going off. This is the other big story of the week. They had a big discussion. I don't know if Milo was on this show, but Milo's back, by the way, in case guys didn't notice. So that's
Has Milo ever really left, or is he just sort of like retired from being an internet personality in the same way he retired from being gay?
Well, he disappeared for a few years, and now he's like back on everybody's podcast. But he was quiet for like 2, 3, 4 years or whatever. So yeah, Milo's back. Eh?
Blacklisted. Nobody wanted him on because he was making pedo jokes.
Yeah, maybe. Well, interestingly, he blames that on Charlie Kirk, and he says Charlie Kirk was spreading a bunch of false rumors about him. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I don't know. He's very, very gay, but there you go. The flamboyant. It's entertaining to watch the flamboyant gay. So there you go. But I mean, let's see what Tim Paul's.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was
I'm fucking done with these people.
So great to watch somebody completely lose their shit on the internet. It's always a pleasure to see a meltdown.
Tim always tries not swearing and stuff as well. Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Do you think he's got one of those? Do you think he's got a small hat under the beanie? What do you think?
It's just bald. It's
I was gonna say that there's nothing to pin that to.
Okay. But yeah, somebody did try and shoot at him the other day.
Yeah, apparently, allegedly. Although the Candice fans say that that's made up.
Candice is. I thought Candice said it's his brother. Like
she did.
She just comes out with absolutely anything.
So all of you lot are anti-Candice. Am I going to be devil's advocate again? First, I've got to defend the boomers. Now I've got to defend Candice. Is this the way this live
Candace
stream's
Owens
going?
genuinely loved Charlie Kirk, and this is just like basically a mental breakdown as a result of grief. It's a very interesting way of processing it, and she is a schizo. But I do genuinely think that as nuts as everything she says is, it does come from a place of actually having cared about that man.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're all anti-Candice. Well, let's.
Well, no. I think Candace is great. I'm Standis with Candace.
Oh
you know,
wow,
she is our queen. She's right about everything. She's the new representative of the right, and you know.
Biting sarcasm. Okay, well, look.
No, that's true. It's true. She's the new representative of the right. Yeah, she had 180,000 on her live stream.
Yeah, she's huge.
She is
hugely popular.
Well, Candace white women like her. She's like a right-wing Oprah Winfrey, I suppose. You know.
Yeah, basically.
But I mean, this is like I've got no idea what's going on with the conspiracy, but this is what it kind of boils down to. This is the only thing I know.
Let's see what happens. All right, guys. Now we're going to test literal steel. 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch steel. Let's see what it can do. Nope. You hit it?
Anyway, whatever. You get the idea. Can you shoot like this?
Which I probably would have been.
Anyway, here you go.
Clean through,
200 yards, clean through, same caliber bullets. And obviously, Charlie Kirk is basically the Man of Steel, or more than the Man of Steel, because he can stop bullets with his neck. So this is like the main point of the argument. Again, I've got no idea what's going on. I spent the whole of the last week trying to figure out what is this huge argument about. The entire internet's going banging on about Candace Owens, how she's going to destroy the midterms and destroy the Republican Party, and destroy the right wing and destroy everything because she's evil and she's a psyop. And I'm like, okay, but she must have some kind of argument. And I try and figure it out. And there's somebody talking about maroon shirts and Egyptian planes. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then I try and look at what Fuentes has to say about it and what Tim Pool has to say about it. And they're just frothing at the mouth and hurling insults at her. And so now I don't even know what the evidence is. All I know is they're saying that the bullet should have passed straight through. That's number one. Point number two, Charlie Kirk was starting to criticize Israel. That's definitely true. He had Tucker Carlson on earlier in the year who opened his speech talking about Israel. And that's it. That's all I got. And his body's not been buried yet. And there's probably a whole bunch of other stuff. But like I said, my number one complaint about all of this is the lack of information in comparison to the amount of slander and hot air that's being thrown back and forth. I watched the Tim Pool Milo interview, and it was just like listening to a bunch of 12-year-olds scream at each other for 2 hours, kind of like this live stream, to be honest with you. But to be fair, but you know what I mean. But this is a comedy show, so it doesn't really matter. But there seems to be a total lack of, like, nobody's saying like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. These are the conspiracies she's proposed, and this is why it's wrong. Nobody's saying that. It's just ad hominem slander, and it's fucking retarded. So there you go.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm enjoying the conspiracy theories. I don't know if you guys saw the section where she talked about the bee cult and how there's the secret bee cult in Utah.
I heard something about bees. What's this?
So
what's that?
She was alleging there's some sort of bee cult in Utah because they have a beehive on their state flag. And there's this cult of beehive Mormons that are orchestrated and planned out the assassination with Benjamin Netanyahu, the French, and TPUSA.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit far out there, isn't it? She does seem to be grasping at straws. Sorry, but just in, again, devil's advocate, I've got to defend Candace Owens, but Whitney Webb, who I think is absolutely brilliant, very, very intelligent, and she wrote the book on Epstein, which is called One Nation Under Blackmail. I haven't read it, but nonetheless, people say that it's the best book that's been written on the whole thing. All of the evidence she presents is circumstantial, so to speak. Like, she can't actually say what has actually happened. It's just like, no, there's this, and there's this, and there's that, and it's all kind of connected. I've got another book on my... Hang on a minute. On my table here, which I haven't read yet. I bought for Christmas, but I haven't finished it. Chaos: The Truth Behind the Manson Murders. I half listened to it on audiobook at work by a guy called Tom O'Neill. Again, a brilliant book. I'm halfway through it, or halfway through the audio version. Basically all about Charles Manson and basically like how he was connected to the CIA and what the hell was that? Operation Midnight Ecstasy or whatever. But connected to a massive CIA psyop, which was getting people like stoned on LSD and brainwashing them and so on and so forth. All of it circumstantial. It's like he's got this piece of evidence, that piece of evidence, another piece of evidence over here. He can't quite draw it all together in order to like say, no, this is what has actually happened, because there are parts of the puzzle that are missing. So again, in defense of Candace, it's like she's showing all this random stuff. It doesn't all quite fit together. but it's like when you look at it all, I suppose it looks very suspicious. I don't know.
I mean, there's a number of things she's been right and that she exposed, most certainly. Like she was correct that Charlie was turning his back on Israel, and that Israel did pull a bunch of funding from TPUSA, like millions of dollars. I think it was like 50 or 500 or something. It was an insane amount of money. So, and she was definitely right on that. At first, I was like, okay, you're acting a little crazy, but then she was dropping some real truths.
Yeah.
I mean, the agency that was serving as Charlie's security was an Israeli company started by an Israeli person. So that was all very true. One thing she also put notice in was when they removed the SD card from the camera. That guy, she did find out his identity, and he was TPUSA's cameraman. So, and that footage still hasn't been released and probably never will. But
hang on. What's the camera? Can you explain?
There was a camera in front of Charlie that was recording the whole thing, and the second he got shot, someone immediately pounced and went to the camera and removed the SD card and then handed it off to one of the security guys from Israel, and then he just like fucked off.
Oh, right.
So you see in the whole shot. I mean, we can't actually show it, but you definitely see him run up there, take it. They're like handing it around, passing it by. And the whole thing definitely seemed like they kind of planned it out and practiced what each person was supposed to do in the scene when Charlie gets shot. It wasn't very organic in many regards. The audience was definitely organic, but the security were definitely behaving in a very fishy way. So
yeah, there you go. You know, it's like I say, like a bunch of weird shit going on. People are having a go. I think like that they fed Candice like a lot of misinformation, and I think she's doing this whole like murder mystery style thing with her voice, and maybe she's putting out a lot of stupid, like the whole thing about like, oh, I had a dream.
Yeah,
and I prayed
Charlie
to God.
came to me in a dream.
Yeah, it's like fuck off, Candice. Like, come on. So I understand, and she's talking about like there are a bunch of guys, and they were wearing maroon shirts, and I've got a gut feeling that this is wrong, you know. So she's put out a tweet saying, "Oh, there's going to be a 9/11 in the first 2 weeks of December." So she's putting out all this shit out there, basically, and it's making her look bad and it's making her look stupid. But
it's making her a bunch of money.
It's making her a bunch of money, but I don't know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the whole of America's a psyop. The whole fucking thing's run by the CIA.
I did. I sent it in the group chat. Obviously, we can't play it on stream because it is the shooting. But you do see that his entire spine exploded the second he got shot. I didn't really like the remark from the physician who watched his body, analyzed his body, or whatever. What are they called? That person's job. And he said that the bullet was just stopped by the neck. So, because a 30-06 is a really big bullet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. I mean, it's essentially the same size as an 8mm. I was looking at it before this, and 8mm were like the rifles that we were using in World War II.
Yeah, the old war rifles, basically. They're heavy. They don't like bullets. Do sometimes do funny things when they hit people, but these bullets they don't tend to really tumble. They're a bit too big for that.
Yeah. So it really puts into question like how messed up was his body on the inside, because when you see the footage when he gets shot in the front part, you see his like whole face like almost react and explode to it, just like poof out on the screen. It's just like wild. So I definitely still think the gun that shot Charlie was a 30-06, and maybe it just a weird thing happened. Like it was at an angle and it just went down his entire spinal cord when you look at the footage of it just exploding out like that. But she's definitely right about Charlie obviously turning his back on Israel, and you know, Israel.
It doesn't look good, does it?
No,
you know, you start saying these things and then you get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a big organization. It's no joke. It's the big like conservative organization that's captured the youth of the right wing youth of America, essentially.
But the gay guy who did it, like he's not going up, he's not out there saying how he's been set up or anything.
No, he's not.
It's not like Lee Harvey Oswald after JFK, where the CIA conveniently had him killed too, so he didn't talk.
Right.
Yep.
What's the guy's name? I forget his name.
Tyler Robinson.
Tyler Robinson, yeah.
The guy with the leaky pussy, as he put it in his DMs.
He was with a transgender, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was.
A furry transgender.
He's getting pegged by a man in a dress. To the point that he has a leaky pussy.
Yeah.
our elite Israeli assassin, a gay furry who shits himself while shooting Charlie Kirk.
That is one of the things I have a problem with. Like, if I'm a state actor, is this who I'm going to have as my assassin? A gay furry, like
maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it wasn't him.
Well, he's not saying he's been set up.
Are you suggesting there was another sniper on a grassy knoll somewhere?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they're just going to send him to jail and then they'll fake his death or whatever, and he'll disappear and he'll get paid off. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I got no idea.
Well, normally they kill you before they take you in. That's the thing. They'll arrange you to, someone else will kill you. Like I said, like with Lee Harvey Oswald. That way there's, case is over, everyone. They don't have to worry about you.
Maybe they got to get more sophisticated now because everything's different.
And there was a militant trans terrorist organization in Utah that they're alleging. I've seen alleges that he had connections to them, and they were an organization that was receiving money from the federal government as an NGO. So,
I mean, but who isn't, right? I mean, the US government they waste so much money on everything.
Yeah. I mean, the whole Thomas Crooks thing is crazy. Like, it's just kind of mad to me. Like, if I was president of the United States, like supposedly the most powerful man in the world, and somebody tried to shoot me, I'd flip and find out who it was. Do you know what I mean? I'd burn the CIA to the ground. I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy and why did he try to do it? Right. But Trump hasn't done that.
No.
It's so strange.
I do think they've got something on him.
Oh, really?
Well, he just seems like he's going along with the whole plan, isn't he? Like, he seems to be captured by them. Like, he's going, MAGA was no more foreign wars. And now he's talking about starting a war with Venezuela.
Right.
This wasn't the plan. This wasn't the MAGA plan, Trump, but...
Well, we could use that to segue. Do a segue. Thank you for the segue. Thank you for the segue. Okay, let's look at some creepy pedo photos. So, Democrats released more photos from Epstein estate showing Trump, Clinton, Andrew, and others. There's Trump with a bunch of girls. I mean, I don't know. Here's Nima Parvini. Who says? There's Epstein in the bath. Okay. Here's Trump with some model. Bill Clinton. We know he's a pedo. This is the interesting one. Bannon, I didn't know this, but Bannon defended Epstein.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, what you doing, bruv?
Yeah, it was right after he got arrested. Bannon came in and sort of had a long meeting with him about what to do.
So apparently in this photo, this thing here is like a photograph of some abused girl. And apparently this is what like pedos do. They rape and murder people and they take a photo and they keep it as like a some kind of trophy or something. I don't know. But he's got this weird photo there. There's another one with Bannon. Here's another one with Chomsky, the Jew. Woody Allen, and this guy and some girl just sitting there. Woody Allen, as we know, the Jew who did he married his daughter, didn't he? Yeah, he married his daughter, adopted daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he married his adopted daughter. Yeah.
When she was like 15 or something.
Yeah, dude. This is a thing. This is why I've got no faith at all in therapy, because therapy is non-judgmental. And so if you go to your therapist and you say, "Oh, I've got sexual feelings towards my adopted daughter," your therapist will say, "Well, we're not going to judge you. We're not going to tell you that this is wrong. Okay, let's just talk about your feelings, you know." And what's the result? Well, you marry her like Woody Allen did, you know.
You say therapy is non-judgmental, but I mean, I sometimes wonder if I became really depressed and went to a therapist and says, "I'm really worried about demographic replacement."
Yeah.
It's literally the meme. Therapy is just talking to a liberal woman until you agree with her.
Wow. I heard Morgoth actually did that once. I remember he did a post.
Yeah.
Like, he went and talked to a therapist and he said, "I'm upset about white genocide," and she was very professional about it. So I think you'll be okay actually.
I don't know. I think that was Morgoth's take on that, if I recall. I'd have to find.
I remember he did a blog post about it. He said she was very professional. So yeah, they are. They're non-judgmental. They're a mirror. They just listen.
Well, it's not. To be honest, it's not something I want to put into practice. But I doubt that conversation would go as well as you're suggesting. It would be my bet.
Yeah. You get the Indian therapist. Oh, are you really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Have that awkward conversation with a literal foreigner about how you hate him.
I just want to deport you, okay? That's all I want.
I knew a girl in Brazil who was a therapist, and she just told me that like she and all of her therapist friends had to drink like massive amounts of coffee just to stay awake, whilst they listened to people just complain about their shitty lives. Essentially, that was just like the whole thing. It was just like, oh god, yeah, that was the whole trip. But yeah, they're Woody Allen, really into psychoanalysis, fucked his daughter. So there you go. Here's another Woody Allen. Oh, here's more Woody Allen. I don't know what this is. Andrew, Charlie Boy, Bill Gates. People still use Windows. This guy's tried to kill us all. Still, people refuse to use Linux. I don't know what's going on with you people. Really, I don't know. Richard Branson, apparently massive pedo.
Yeah. I mean, no one's surprised by that.
Allegedly. I mean, I remember this guy. Like back in the day, he was like the last burst of English entrepreneurialism in that, like, because you know the way that Americans just celebrate their billionaires, you know, he was like the last guy that actually just did something in this country. Like he's Virgin Airlines and Virgin, the record shop, and like he actually got shit done. But I mean, apparently he's a pedo. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, his Trump's condoms. Oh, it's so fucking cringe, isn't it? Imagine you got to make a condom, like your special condom, like just show off to the ladies. Like, wow. Yeah, what's going on there? Yeah, that's a bit. Anyways, dude, there you go.
That glove. Look at that. Just, I don't know if you can zoom in or pull it up. Like, that's such a freaky, disgusting little toy that they have there.
That's Piers Morgan, actually.
Oh, is that like a dildo glove?
Yeah,
that
is actually Edward Dildo Hands. I'm surprised that exists.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't recognize it. I'm not used to looking at dildos, but yeah, I guess that's what it is, isn't it? Okay.
And why would you make it black? Wouldn't it make it more difficult to
resemble
clean?
a gimp suit?
Oh, that makes sense.
It's probably part of one. It looks like it could be part of one.
Yeah. There you go. If it was white, it would be okay.
Where does Piers Morgan live? He lives in Guildford, didn't he?
I don't know.
He's you remember the Gimps, don't you, Mercian? He's gone.
He's gone. Mercian's gone. Oh, what are you gonna share me something?
Well, do you remember the Somerset Gimp and stuff?
No.
There are these guys in gimp suits walking around at night.
There were two of them. There was the Somerset Gimp and the Colchester Gimp.
Yeah.
And the Colchester Gimp was like giving the Somerset Gimp shit for the fact that he'd like do it in public. The Colchester Gimp was like interviewed in the Gazette and being like, I only do it when I know the kids will be in school and so have no chance of seeing me. And this was like, thank you for your moral high ground position as a local Gimp.
Oh,
I think Piers
I don't know
Morgan
if I want to know about this story. Okay, go on.
I think Piers Morgan is the Guildford Gimp. That's his glove.
Gav sees in the chat, he'll start him.
Do you think Piers Morgan was into puppy play? Did you see him in like a latex puppy costume?
Yeah, I could see that.
Brand new sentence right
there. Have you guys ever seen that BBC documentary about pups? It was It was making the rounds a while back. I have a copy of it. It's pretty hilarious, but essentially, it's what you're similar talking there with the Gimps being in public. There was a bunch of like human pups, and they had a little play day where all the local English pups came out and were prancing around in like a parade or something. And now you actually see that more common now. Like that was like 2015, it was a very controversial thing, and there was only like 2 of them. But now you look at like these gay pride parades and things, and you just see, you can look out there and you see all these different people in their like pup mask and puppy play activities, and it's just really disgusting, horrendous.
I remember seeing a thing a while ago about there was some like high up army guy who it got leaked was like totally into that on the side, and it's like how are you in that position? But no, to be fair, if it's a BBC documentary, the BBC is just kind of obsessed with, I don't know what you'd even call it, just sort of queerness, I guess. Like, if you can name a weird kink, the BBC has got a 6-part documentary for you. But I think drag queens are like the big one at the moment, and they're pushing out as like that's like the socially acceptable thin end of the wedge. Because they'll be like, oh, it's, a pantomime dame, accept this general public. And then it just gets weirder and weirder the deeper you go.
Didn't we cover a story last year, Tharium, where a BBC presenter basically was arrested in like Thailand or something for raping a dog to death? Yeah. It's just like where do they find these people? And why do they all work for the BBC? Like, what the fuck?
He had CP as well, of course. And he was
But maybe that part of the BBC think it's a different thing.
Yeah, well, big black cock or something.
Yeah, well done. Explain the joke.
Yeah, so sorry. Oh, fuck's sake. Trying to help the audience.
I was a bit worried. It went quiet, but you've explained the joke now, and now the entire
nobody laughed. I was trying to help. Yeah.
Well done.
No problem.
I'll go cry later.
Yeah.
Over BBC.
Yeah, fucking BBC. Since we got a girl on the stream, March, what do you think about page 3 girls? Do you think do you think we should bring them back? You don't have a problem with them?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Page 3 girls, because obviously we banned page 3 girls, and now everybody is gay. And so
what is that?
You don't know what a page 3 girl is?
She's too much of a zoomer for page 3.
I was born in 2004. There's a high chance this was banned before I existed.
Oh wow! Jesus fucking! You don't know you genuinely don't know what a page 3 girl is?
No, I don't.
Basically, it was
what the fuck?
In the Sun, in the newspapers, the Sun and the Daily Star especially. Page 3 was exclusively for a topless model, usually. and that was a big staple in this country. What year did they change it? Because like you could be up to 16-year-olds could do it. Samantha Fox famously did it when she was 16 back in the 80s.
Yeah, I think they probably changed it about 10 years ago. So I mean, I guess the Zoomers don't know about it, but there you go. But I mean, anyway, point being, I'll just say we had Dangerfield on the show last week. He's just published a book talking about nudie mags in the 90s or whatever. And it's back in the day, back in the 90s and the noughties, we had a much more sexually permissive culture in regard to women. We had lads mags, we had topless women in the tabloids, and there was just like a celebration of the female form. And then along came a bunch of horrible feminists, and they said, no, that's bad. We have to ban it all, and they banned it all, and now everybody's gay, essentially. So what? So I mean, you don't know what page street girls are, but what do you think, Moch? Do you as a woman, do you have a problem with, I don't know,
models? Let's say
soft pornography in tabloids? I mean, do you have a problem with it, or do you think it should all be banned?
I think a lot of people these days sort of group everything all in together. Like, you get a lot of people, especially on the right, who be like, yeah, I would just criminalize OnlyFans, make it illegal, get rid of it all. But I think there's a bit of a distinction between, sort of something like a page 3 girl, I guess, and something more equivalent to OnlyFans. Like I don't know. I wasn't alive in the 90s. I don't really know that culture at all. It is all just something I've sort of heard of secondhand. But I feel there's a big difference between, sort of, you put up a poster of, pop star or model because you find her hot, versus people sort of developing these parasocial relationships with the equivalent of like OnlyFans models and that kind of thing. There's a big separation between, woman with hot boobs in magazine versus this woman I'm paying £6 a month to talk to and act like she's interested in me.
Yeah, the parasocial stuff with the OnlyFans is that just seems really damaging to these guys.
500 million a year. What the fuck, dude?
And I've seen breakdowns of it, and a lot of it comes from just these like messages, not the subscriptions. So it's guys messaging these girls thinking they're talking to them when it's probably some Pakistani guy actually.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a story where it's just like, yeah, OnlyFans girls have realized it's cheaper to just outsource their messaging to Indians.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrew Tate revolutionized that. I mean, he was talking to creepy weirdos on the internet for his little sex business that he was running in Romania.
Yeah.
Do you think all this messaging is men that kind of feel safe that they're not going to be rejected? Because I think there's a lot of that going on with men that can't cope with rejection.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why anybody would pay for OnlyFans. I can't get it through my head, like why they would fall for such a.
It's the parasocial thing.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I mean, I wish Chris Dangerfield was here for this discussion.
Yeah.
I'm finding it's a lot easier to talk to women because other men are terrified of them.
The field has been cleared for you.
Yeah. It is genuinely a hell of a lot easier now than it ever was 10, 15 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I just wonder if is it men worried about, rape allegations maybe?
I think Me Too is a big part of it. It's kind of a meme even on Twitter where it's like, worst you can say is no, and then it'll be people posting videos of like, because you do get a lot of absolutely abhorrent female behavior where it'll be, they're reposting private messages where a man's pouring their heart out, or it'll be, this dude tried to flirt with me and I wasn't having it. Here's a video of him, quote unquote, sexually harassing me, that kind of thing. And, that is awful. And there's a lot of horrific behavior from mostly feminist women who are sort of Zoomers or millennials. And I think a lot of it is the older generations have taught the Zoomers and millennials, all of basically flirting as harassment, essentially. And there was a lot of this. I think it is slowly dying out a little bit more now. I think sort of my age and younger, I see less of it than I see among women, sort of a older Gen Z or millennial. But I think seeing sort of a decade or plus of that being the culture, because we did have a very, I think, feminism-dominated culture for most of the 2010s. I think a decade plus of that has basically instilled in the minds of young men, avoid women at all cost, scary, feminist harpy type thing. And, there is no one more demonized than the sort of the young incel type figure. And I'm not just trying to, white knight defend them, because I think a lot of it is, fair response to the culture they've been dealt. But it's also, I think, a little bit of they are doing it to themselves, because a lot of young dudes do get it in their heads, women are scary, evil, insert buzzword here, do not approach. And, I can understand why they come to that conclusion based on the behavior from women that you've seen. But I think there is a certain element of you just need to go out and talk to real people and learn that they're not all like that.
Yeah. Good advice, everyone.
I think
now, what we're going to do, guys?
being one of like 3 women in like the dissident right space, I do sort of get a lot of like, wait, there are girls here.
Is that awkward, like, for you?
To a certain extent, a lot. Like I have in my bio on quite a lot of places, like, don't be fooled by the profile picture. There's no women on the internet, but just because it got to the point where it's like I have always publicly identified, I suppose, as a woman online. I've never tried to hide that fact. But I have a few people who knew me as like username first, met me in person, were like, wait, you're a girl? I'm like, I have not been even remotely subtle about this, but it's always a surprise.
Yeah. Have you had Indians?
I have had Indians, but that's not in anything to do with sort of this sphere. Just being a woman on the internet.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Indians.
Yeah. Why
I'll tell you what, Tharium. You can't even be a misogynist these days, and women invade your space. It's just, oh God, I can't be doing with it.
I know, right?
Show Bobs and Vagina, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, I mean, this stream at least, we've sort of always been on the opinion that women are needed in the movement. You can't be like these sort of the guys like the Nick Fuentes sort of side who just hate all women. You're not going to get anywhere with that. Just lonely, angry men.
Yeah,
but 100%. You need to kick all the gays out and replace them with women. That's like the natural order of things.
I think to a certain extent, if you've got a woman who is like fairly heavily involved in right-wing politics, there is probably something a little bit wrong with her. I say that well aware of what I am, but
Not fair at all.
You just need to find yourself a nice apolitical foid who will just sort of agree with you if you explain it to her slowly.
Well, that people do say that women are the enforcements of culture.
Oh, yeah, completely. That's what I'm saying. That's why that kind of links to what I was saying earlier about you've had this sort of massive rightward shift among young men and leftward shift among young women. I think we are starting to see the slow reversal of a leftward shift among young women because the culture is turning slightly to the right post, I'd say, 2024.
Yeah.
I remember like Avalian doing a video a long time ago, and she just made the point that whenever women march and demand something, they always seem to get it. And so if they would just march on the side of like, stopping immigration and so on and so forth, then we'd get it.
I don't think
which is why I really support the Pink Ladies and all those activists.
I don't think it's necessarily that simple, because I don't think organized protest really does much, in the sort of civil rights framework you have of like, grassroots, mass movements. I don't think that's real, I suppose.
It generates energy, though.
I suppose, but I think things like that only really succeed if you have elite backing, I suppose. Like, you talk about like, if the women marched for remigration, they would get it. Well, you do have things like, what's it called? The Women's Safety Institute, whatever it's called, that Jess Gill and all those sort of women run. Whereas, nothing really comes of that, even though it's been around for months now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like if the women of England just said, actually, do you know what? We're fed up with getting murdered and raped by foreigners. Can you fucking guys do something about it? Then I think things would change very quickly.
I don't think that's the case, because if you look at things like the migrant hotel protests, quite often a lot of what you will get at those is mothers of young children, you know, outside those hotels being like, I don't like that they're being housed here near where my kids go to school. But because, you know, the elites in this country don't want those people to get what they want, it's not going to happen, no matter how vocal they are about it.
But it is having an effect. I mean, I'm just saying, like, the people that I talk to, like, even people that were quite left-wing before, that they're now starting to say, no, actually, do you know what? This is just too much. This has gone too far. So
the Overton window, I suppose, has shifted, but that doesn't do anything. That's not real.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like if you reject the Overton window, then what are you left with? Just doomerism. I mean, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You just want to fight a revolution?
The Overton window's real,
like,
but
even if you want to fight a civil war, right, burn the whole thing to the ground, you still need people on your side.
Oh, no, it's not a case of just like, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, mass protests and having just sort of lots of people shouting into the void doesn't really do anything. You know, you need, an organized small group will always, you know, get what they want, as opposed to just lots of people just sort of angrily shouting at clouds.
But it does create energy, though. I mean, it does shift public opinion to some extent.
That energy just gets dissipated. You know, Brexit had a lot of energy. You had more than half the voters saying, you know, we want less immigration, and that energy was dissipated. And you know, Brexit did not get us less immigration. It just gave us a massive spike in non-EU immigration. And I think if we do end up with a reform victory in 2029, we're going to get yes, we did it, lads. We did it. We got the right-wing government, and then very little's going to change. Just as
well, I just felt like reform's obviously going to be a disappointment. But if you want to be against the Pink Ladies marching, then the question comes: well, how do you want to affect change? If you think everything's useless, if you want to take the doomer perspective, then how are you going to change the country?
I didn't say that. I don't think everything's useless. You know, I support a lot of what things like the Beowulf Foundation does, where it's sort of, you have to organize your own shit.
The Beowulf?
The Beowulf Foundation is an organization that runs things like Basket Weavers, if you've heard of that. It runs Shieldings, the Witten, all those sort of events. And a lot of it is, like, as far as I can tell, everything is basically just who you know. It gets people connected. It gets networking done, not in a mass sense, not in a, you know, show up and be counted sense, but it'll find you, you know, here's so-and-so person with a lot of money to give to projects. Here's so-and-so who's working on a software that will prevent right-wingers from being able to get debanked, etc. That kind of thing. You know, things that actually, you know, help people rather and get people connected. Things actually help on a local level in the community. You know, Scrum talks about this a lot. It's like, go out and like get on your local council and stop them shutting the banks down, so that the old people who live in your little village don't have to suddenly get forced onto digital banking and not know what the hell they're doing. You know, small, like, local level things that actually help the people around you. You know, I believe in a bigger focus on localism over global or even national politics.
Okay, look, I mean, I'm all in favor of what you're saying. Like, we've got this guy, the person in the chat saying all this. Look, I'm just saying, in Bulgaria, right, breaking news, they just overthrew the government. So populism can work sometimes. They overthrew the government in Sri Lanka, they overthrew the government in Nepal, and now third revolution, they've just overthrown the government in Bulgaria. So if you do get like 2 or 3 million people and they're marching on the streets and they march on parliament and they say, fuck you, we want a snap general election, you may get it. And so I do feel like if you're going to like poo-hoo people that are marching on the streets, it's just like you're throwing a wet flannel on that, whereas we should really just be celebrating that. We should really be coming out in vast numbers onto the streets and showing the power
I disagree.
of the mob.
Because you get things like Tommy Robinson's, when was it, September something protest. And you had, you know, hundreds of people showing up, being counted. You've got, you know, the BBC reporting the figures and all the aerial shots of everyone with their flags, but that didn't actually do anything. Everyone felt very good about themselves for showing up and waving their flag and visually being a movement.
Everybody felt good about
actually
themselves.
happened as a result about it.
there's something. It's a show of power, isn't it? You say it achieved nothing, but everybody felt good about themselves. I mean, I'm not a Tommy Robinson fan, but I mean, do you deny that the Bulgarians have just overthrown their government? No.
No.
So, and how did they do it?
I
They
don't know
marched.
anything about that.
I don't know anything about that, but if I looked into it, I bet there's some elite backing going on there.
Yeah, like even if it is, as you said, 2 million people just marching on the government, that I don't think that's going to be 2 million people individually deciding to march on the government. There's going to be an organized minority that is planned that. There will be essentially a counter elite that is overthrowing the existing government.
Fucking elite theories just fucking poison everything. Nobody's got any inspiration to do anything. You just go, oh no, we'll wait for the elite.
Listen, I'm friends with Scrump. Don't blame me.
Scrump the transgender. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ!
Where did that come from? He's not transgender.
That's Evelyn.
He's banging them though. That
Listen, he's a little bit gay, but I forgive him.
Oh,
a
little bit.
I want you to consider.
Oh, fucking fantastic! Look at this. This could be our country, right? This could be our country right now, but it won't be our country right now because people are like, oh no, we can't do that.
Okay, well, show me more
we have
in
to
a
wait.
year. If
We have to wait for the elite. We have to wait for the elite. I tell you what we'll do. We'll just sit in our asses and we'll wait for the elites to fix everything instead of just.
I'm not saying sit in your asses. I'm just saying that going out with a big sign doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, I'll wait for my.
You actually need to get organised.
Don't let him get to you much. Don't let him get to you much.
No,
Me and Farron, we've been
telling
tearing this for
you
weeks.
fucking bunch of simps. What the motherfucking march on Parliament, you bunch of fucking pussies. Jesus fucking Christ. 2 million men, we march on Parliament.
Showing up to mass public protests and doing like the Ant Middleton shit where they're like, oh, we're going to march on number 10 is a good way to get yourself on a facial recognition database and on a watch list.
So what? Works in Bulgaria, it can work here. But
and show me the material benefits that have happened to the people of Bulgaria in a year. Like you brought up the other governments that have been overthrown. We all heard about that at the time because people were memeing about that one that happened over Discord. But what's actually changed like in those countries since that's happened? Because you don't hear anything after the fact. You just hear like, oh, so and so's overthrown the government. What's actually changed?
I mean, we get an election. We're going to have Nigel Farage and Mohammed Yusuf running the country, so nothing's going to change.
Holy fucking shit!
But also, I do think.
Let's just take a step back. Can I just say something here? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? I think the Enlightenment took the wrong path by pursuing electoral politics. I think Voltaire. Oh, sorry, not Voltaire. The other one. I think the path to take was direct democracy. I think Switzerland is a nice country. It's a utopia in the mountains. I think that if you give people the power, then over a period of time, they will vote for conservative policies. Why? Because the vast majority of people want to get married and have a family, and they want to own a house. And so I think direct democracy is the path forward. I think the ancient Romans in the ancient Roman Republic, they used to have an election every year. So I think the only thing that we can do is march on Parliament, demand a general election, and have a general election every single year so that we have a big stick so we can beat the government over the head so we can get what we want. And I think that all of this talk of elitism and how populism doesn't work is just one more way of throwing a wet flannel on the inspirations and hopes of the people to affect change. It's one more way of saying, oh, don't do anything, just wait, and then some elite will come along. In fact, it's really not that different.
Just wait for an elite.
It's really not that different to QAnon. We all saw what happened with the MAGA movement in the first term of Trump. Instead of all the MAGA-tards actually getting involved in government and affecting change, they all sat on their computers and they said, "Oh, look, trust the plan. QAnon will save us." I do not think anybody in the elites is going to save us. I think that people actually do have a power. And they have one power, and it's called the power of the mob, and it's called the power of marching 1 or 2 or 3 million people, at the same time. And I think the government is terrified of it. And I think to say that it's not true is just wrong.
Yeah, you do see their reaction to any sort of protests. They are scared of it, like the recent thing with the girl who recorded that rape, and the barristers going, "You can't release this footage or cause riots."
There you go.
Oh, they're afraid of the riots, absolutely. That's why you saw them crack down so bloody hard immediately after Southport. They're afraid of essentially football hooliganism meets politics. They're afraid of that. They're not afraid of Tommy Robinson flag protests.
No.
They're absolutely not afraid of that.
I mean, Tommy Robinson's controlled, so...
Hang on. Whenever they have their marches, they always say there's less people than there actually are. They do like to, push it.
Yeah, but that's just demoralizing. That's demoralization of the right. They still don't like the right, but they allow them to exist.
They also completely ignored the Yellow Jackets protest in France, which went on for 2 years and was hardly reported at all in the Anglosphere. Like, everybody just completely ignored it. But you had about 1 million people in the streets for 2 years, marching against the government. The thing only got shut down because of COVID. But they did manage to overthrow the government in Belgium, and it gets ignored, and it gets memory hold. I mean, nobody in the government is celebrating the revolution in Sri Lanka or Nepal, and Bulgaria will get. All of you can go to work tomorrow, and you can ask them, "Oh, do you know they had a revolution in Sri Lanka or whatever?" And people will look at you and say, "Oh, what are you talking about, mate?" Most people don't know about it because they will not talk about it.
I get what you say. I get what you're saying. Let me put it this way, because you're kind of down on the whole elite theory. But elite theory doesn't say that you can't be an elite, Brutus. And if you want to start this movement, start organising.
Well, I'm trying to, but I'm just stuck with a bunch of fucking retards who are like a bunch of wet flannels. It's just like
I'm the same as Mosh. I don't want my face on some government database somewhere.
Okay, but I mean, can you at least agree that Switzerland is a nice country?
I can agree that, but you're saying like, oh, if you just have direct democracy, most people will vote for conservative things because they want to, have a family, get married, follow those incentives.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do with the ones who don't? This isn't... you brought up ancient Rome as an example, but I don't think you're going to get away with simply just killing the leeches.
Well, I mean, I think over a period of time, the country was... I mean, for example, Switzerland didn't give women the vote until the 70s. It's one of the last countries to do it. They've still got the right to bear arms.
You can't have democracy with multiculturalism, though. All the foreigners need to go if you want any sort of democracy.
That. Yeah. Get in power, clear all the foreigners out, and then have some kind of direct democracy. I mean, I'm just saying, once you get the idea in your head, once I got the idea in my head like 2 years ago, I can't get it out of my head, because every time I see the government passing an act in Parliament, I just think to myself, why can't you pass it down to us so we can have a referendum on it? Why is this so unfair? And also, I have an experience.
People don't give a shit. I mean, you look at 2024, it had the lowest voter turnout in years. Keir Starmer got less votes than Corbyn.
Also,
you have in the UK. You look at the statistics of how many people are net tax contributors versus not. This isn't just me saying that everyone who isn't a net tax contributor is just directly a leech. I'm sure I probably fall into that category because I don't earn a lot because I'm a student. But you've got sort of the vast majority of people will just vote for whatever gives them gibs, essentially. And you say you're like, oh, just toss out all the foreigners. Okay, you've still got, millions of people in this country who will just vote for Gibbs.
Well, I understand all that. I mean, like, look, don't get me wrong. I dream every day of some kind of temporary fascist dictatorship in which we fix everything. I'm just saying, long term, I would not want to live under that kind of government. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to live under an autocratic monarchy. I don't want to live under a fascist government. I would like some kind of liberalism, some kind of freedom of speech. In it, like I say, I mean, I am an ethno-liberalist, right? So I just think, like, once you get the idea in your head, it won't leave. And I had this experience like last year. Like I said, I was working in this kitchen, and so I'm working with this chef, incredibly left wing, complete idiot, disagreed about everything. And he was, we'd have some banter, some back and forth. He's calling me a fascist and this, that, and the other. And I just said to him, look, mate, I just believe in referendums. That's what I believe in. And automatically, straight away, he agreed with me. He was like, yeah, I want that too. So I think we can get the left to agree with us on this. I think everybody hates electoral politics because the politicians just lie. They say they're going to do a bunch of stuff and then they get elected and then they just don't do it. And I think if you present an alternative form of government where we can actually hold the politicians to account, I think people would rally behind it, to be honest with you.
I disagree. I genuinely think that, it is all it boils down to is bread and circuses. Most of the population is not politically engaged. They just care about when their next welfare payment's coming in and when the football's going to be on.
So what do you want? What do you want, Moch?
Here.
Hang on.
So,
okay. Hang on. Wait, what do you want, Moch?
What do you mean, what do I want?
What's your plan?
My plan for what?
To save the country. What's your plan?
I don't have a plan to save the country. I think you should save your
go,
local area first.
Right. Well, there you go. So avoid it all. Localism. Fantastic.
Well, no, I'm not saying avoid it all.
No, but at least I've got a fucking plan, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You've
got a pie in the sky idealism for the entire country.
Not
whereas
really,
I've got something that would actually improve your local area.
Bulgaria just did it. But apparently we can't do it here in England because people are like, oh, well, I'm depressed. What a fucking
that's not it. That's not it.
What a bunch of wet flannels. Honestly, the Victorians would be fucking embarrassed of you lot. Really. Literally, can we just march on Parliament?
Okay, Bruce.
Can we just
let's say you made me the secretary of this idea. No, I'll follow this. Let's say you made me the secretary of idea. Mercy and make this happen. How many people do you think I could get to do that? Legitimately.
Well, you can't because you all say no because everybody's
no. I'm on board now.
Everyone's on board. Okay, you're on board. Okay, great.
Do you think I can muster to do this?
Well, I tell you exactly what we do. We keep getting guests on every show, and we keep talking to them. We keep networking. We spread the idea, and we make it happen. That's it.
So
it's a meme. You make it happen. Otherwise, what's the alternative? Oh, localists. I've been listening to this for 10 fucking years. I'm going to hide in the forest. This is Varg Vikernes. I used to argue with Varg Vikernes back in the day. Hiding in the forest in France with his 10 children, waiting for the economy to collapse. And so we can return back to the Viking age. It's not going to fucking happen, guys. Can we just literally fucking overthrow the government? What the holy shit?
If you want to improve the country, improve your own back garden first. Get on your local council, prevent them from from granting planning permission to HMOs
because they're going to do it anyway. You can't stop them because they're in charge.
Okay, but if you become the vet, you
can get on your local council and then they'll just import. They'll put 1,000 Bomalians in your nice local village and they'll rape all the schoolgirls. We have to get
yourself into the position where you are saying no. Our local area will not have this. We will not deal with this.
The Parliament is sovereign. They can do what they want. I'm not wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be an arsehole. I'm just
You said a few too many beers, having a little fun.
Well, I tell you what. Our people conquered the world with alcohol. That's what we would do. We drink a few fucking beers and then we go, what's that country over there? And we go and conquer it. Maybe people should drink more. And maybe we should drink and then march on fucking Parliament and overthrow the cunts. And I just don't understand why I'm dealing with a bunch of fucking wet flannels who are just like, no, we can't do that. I'm a crab in a barrel. I'm going to pull you down.
You literally reversed your own argument. I'm like, yeah, get on your local council, prevent them from doing all of these things. And you're like, nah, it's not going to work. You're just going to get steamrolled by Parliament. So don't even try. I can do the same thing.
March on Parliament. You're a crab.
Okay.
Crabs. An entire live stream full of crabs. Why can't you just say, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
March.
What a bunch of cookies.
We agree with you that there is an element of elites that do dictate things and control things. The problem when it goes so far to say elite theory meaning, you know, it is a theory, is they, and AA's talked about this, and I even Scrump has, and I've talked to Brutus about it, where they think that the elite literally control every single fabric of our reality and our existence. But that's just not the case, because at the end of the day, you need to have some sort of collection of people who back them. So that's why just saying that the people are useless, they're dumb, they're just gonna vote themselves, vote how the elites want it. It's just kind of ridiculous, because at the end of the day, you know, we do have these internal instincts of things that we want. And to go as far as to say elites control even morality, which is tenet 7 on the elite theory categorization, it's just that level of nihilism is just unrelatable. It's foreign to all of us. I mean, we grew up in Christian nations, essentially, where we had a foundation of morality given to us by God. So it's just, we do agree with you that there has to be elites, but to actually just reject the public and to say that the public being outraged and having outrage mobs about it isn't actually helpful, when, you know, it gives you a sense of the trajectory that the nation itself is going. So but yes, I support going on local councils and things like that. Obviously,
yeah, we all support
been
this.
outraged about it for decades, though, and the outrage has not translated into anything.
Yeah, because nobody's saying like me, let's march on Parliament and demand a general election. Nobody's like taking it to its ultimate conclusion. It's a fucking idea. You can't stop an idea. That's all I'm trying to say. You listen. Wait, hang on. I'll make my last point, then we can move on and argue about something else. Once you get the idea in your head, you won't be able to forget it, because I think about it every single day. I wake up in the morning, I think about marching on Parliament and throwing these fucking cunts out of government, because they are a bunch of cunts and they're useless and they're low IQ. And I cannot for the fucking life of me understand why you would sit here on an anonymous live stream and say, oh no, I don't want to do that. I just can't understand it. I really can't. I'm astonished.
Okay, because let's say that you do march on Parliament and you get everyone currently in the House of Commons out, and what are you going to do about the entrenched bureaucracy? You've got, Westminster, civil service, everyone like that. They're still got their jobs tomorrow. They're not,
sack them.
You just need someone, with the will to sack them. Basically.
Okay.
Parliament could do that. I mean,
what is going? Okay, and let's say you sack all of those people. Yeah. You sack the entire civil service and replace them with, your based ones. Where are you going to get that many based ones? And B, what's going to happen to all of those people? Because
I'll just give everybody in the local seats.
They're going to just end up somewhere else doing the same thing functionally.
Well, you just defund all the NGOs. You're like, what's the problem here? You defund them. You defund hope. No, the government's paying for hope, not hate. Like, let's just defund that. Just defund.
I'm aware the government's paying for hope, not hate.
With the USAID shutdown, the sort of stand up to racism lot, they do seem a bit smaller. Yeah. They don't seem to be able to have the same numbers anymore.
This is the point. Look, I mean, I don't know. Like, can you guys just step back from all your emotions, okay, just for 1 second? I know it's hard, and just think about political theory from an objective point of view. Think about the kind of world that you want to live in. Do you want to live in a fascist dictatorship? I do not. I would be willing to tolerate a temporary dictatorship to clear things up, but ultimately, I would not want to live in that permanently. I think, ideally, I would like to live in a country in which we have a general election every single year. And if we have a general election every single year, then every single government that comes in will have to make a manifesto, and they'll have to stick to their manifesto. And they'll have to do what they say they're going to do. And if they don't, then we'll get rid of them, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think that would be, theoretically at least, a good way of running the country. And I think that most people would agree with it. And I think that if you go out onto the streets and you tell people, this is the way I would like to run the country, they'll say, yeah, that's not bad, because everybody agrees that electoral politics is fucking awful, because the politicians just lie and then they sit there for 4 years and they do nothing. So I'm just giving you an idea, guys.
But then if you do...
a beautiful idea. I don't know what your alternative idea is. Do you want to live in Elon Musk's technocracy? Do you want to live in a fascist dictatorship? Do you want the things to continue as they are now? I'm just expressing to you a wonderful political dream that is not completely, it's not imaginary. It is I'm not talking about flying to Mars here. I'm talking about something that they kind of sort of already do in Switzerland. Like, this is a doable, achievable thing. All we have to do is get people on our side, and then we can make it happen.
All right. I got a boogie here. You guys have a good evening and whatnotness. And
what the fuck, dude?
Stay well. Sorry, I it's the middle of the day for me, you know, so got things I gotta do. People gotta see.
Well, that's not okay. That's not the reaction I was looking for after my epic speech. But like, okay.
Sorry, I've been meaning to dip out a little bit. I got a phone call earlier, so
yeah, no, that's great. That's fucking fantastic. Thanks, mate.
Try not to gouge each other's eyes out too much.
Give you my epic speech and you just run away. All right, whatever, guys. Okay.
Phil, before you go, Brutus seems to make a lot of enemies. Can you work out why at all?
Why he gets a lot of enemies?
I don't look. Oh my god, look. I don't know what do you want me to say? Like, I read, okay? Did you guys ever read John Locke? I just read about things theoretically. And I'm just saying, like, it just seems like a good system of government. I'm just saying, am I wrong?
I think people.
No, you're not wrong.
A bit.
There you go. Thank you, Kings. Thank you. I'm not wrong. It doesn't seem like a bad system of government, does it? Yearly elections. It doesn't. Like, am I? Can you at least?
You're getting rid of any idea of long-term thinking.
Yeah. I think people
because if people know that they're going to be ousted from power if they don't make good on their promises within the next year, they're never going to do anything that has short-term sacrifice for long-term gain.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree at all. Why?
I think people.
What you're misunderstanding is that the government doesn't actually run the country. Parliament doesn't run the country. The civil service does. Parliament is supposed to legislate. So. Yeah, Parliament passes laws. It doesn't run the country. As far as long-term planning goes, I don't know. I don't see why having an election every year would stop you from building a nuclear power station. There you go. Well, Joel Kemp's on my side. Thank God for you. Jesus.
There you go.
We actually have an example of long-term planning being why you won't build a power station. It happened with the Conservatives 15 years ago. They were saying, oh, well, it's going to take 10 years to build that, so we're not going to do it, you know? You can find clips of David Cameron when he was freshly elected talking about it.
Well, I'll ask you again. What's your plan? Localism. Great. What's your plan, Mercian?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Get a girlfriend, have sex, I think.
Fantastic. Well, I'll support that. Tharian, what's your plan?
Rupert Lowe.
Yeah.
He's got to do it. Look at this post.
Okay, so let's march on Parliament and get him in, you know.
If Rupert Lowe might be able to make something work. Share my screen.
Oh, sorry. Right, hang on.
We've got Keir Starmer early today.
Hang on. Sorry, hang on. There you go.
Yeah. As Jewish communities come together, this is from Keir Starmer, to celebrate Chanukah, I send my warmest wishes and families to across the UK and the world. And then Rupert Lowe, delete this post. Based.
Yeah, he's great. He's a legend. I mean, that's kind of my point. Like, if we had yearly elections, I think like more good people would be able to get into Parliament like that, because there'd be less risk. Like currently, if somebody good runs for Parliament, people are scared. They're like, oh no, you know, we've got to vote tactically because 4 years till the next election. But if you have an election every year and somebody like kind of like radical, like an independent MP pops up, you'd be like, yeah, I'll give him a chance. Right? You'd be more willing to give an opportunity to somebody like Rupert Lowe. So that's my argument. Yeah?
But I do wonder if Rupert Lowe's sort of his Great Yarmouth First Party, if that could be replicated across the whole country. So you got whatever area first. He sort of can form an alliance of like the nationalist local parties like that. Because he's smashing it in Great Yarmouth now. He's like dominating reform badly.
Yeah. Well, 10% of the population wants him to be prime minister. So
yeah, when he's not even doesn't have a party of his own.
He's not even running. Yeah.
So yeah, he currently Rupert Lowe needs to step up.
Well, we've been talking about it for years. I mean, I will remind people I was supporting Rupert Lowe before anybody else. By the way, me and SJJ on this show last year, I pointed out every week. I said, like, why isn't anybody talking about Rupert Lowe? He's a great politician. He's in Parliament. He's talking about all these things. Everybody ignored him, but we were there first. Anyway, here's some comment. I want this person to be Prime Minister. I don't know.
This is to Coke Sniffer, old two-tier fucking queer, pin-eyed, that fucking cunt, who's got a backside as wide as the fucking Grand Canyon. Yeah, if you think that I'm paying £100 a year for her, my beautiful little Doris, you can go fuck yourself. Because I ain't supporting jihad, and I ain't supporting the fucking Muslim cunts that you've got coming here every fucking day, you bastard. Yeah? So do one. And everyone else that's got a pet, right, don't pay it. They can go fuck themselves, because all you're doing is supporting the fucking people that are here, coming here, poncing, using our country. Wake up, will ya? Wake the fuck up. I wish I could come round to all of you snowflakes with one of them ice splashers, what they're called. Oh, I'd have a fun fucking day dishing it out, I tell you that. You're fucking thick. Like this super flu. Another distraction why they're implementing shit behind our backs to fucking suit all these Muslims and not our fucking veterans.
Anyway, so it goes on like that. I didn't know it was 2 minutes long, but the point being, my dear friends, Edmund Burke talked about this in his brilliant letter, Reflections on the Revolution of France, the foundation of modern day conservatism. Peter Hitchens himself describes himself as a Burkean conservative. And what did Edmund Burke say? He said, you have the natural prejudice of the people in that ordinary people, they have a certain wisdom to them. They don't fucking like foreigners, essentially. So my point is that you give the power to the people and you get people like this. Now, she likes to swear a lot. I don't know what her IQ level is, but given a chance, she'll vote to clean all of this shit up. That's my argument.
Yeah.
She's a English girl. Sorry, go on.
I can't remember who spoke about this a while ago, but I think the framing they used was essentially the council house mum versus the middle class mum versus the, millionaire's wife type mum. And basically the idea was, the council house mum understands all of this at a very base level in a similar way to this woman here. And then when you get to the middle class mum, you've sort of got the, and I know you were saying you sort of disagree with the idea that the elites control morality, but you've got the middle class mum with her very much socially enforced morality. I think that's very much a thing as you get towards the middle of the bell curve. And obviously on the higher end, they know what's going on. So that's why, with your council house mum, she'll go, I don't like the Somalians, I don't like the Browns because, they're hurting my kids, they're doing X, Y, Z. But then you get the middle class mum essentially going like, no, the racism is a bad thing. Therefore, I protect these people and I don't like the lower class mum and the, I suppose white underclass, you could call it, who protest against them. And then obviously, higher end of the bell curve, like they understand fully what's going on and why those people are here.
No, I absolutely agree. The propaganda is aimed at the midwit. The midwits are destroying Western civilization. The midwit has an IQ of 100. The midwit reads The Guardian and he thinks, wow, this is really clever. And he kind of goes along with it. And the low IQ person doesn't understand The Guardian, so he goes with his gut instinct and he rejects it. And the high IQ person is able to just see through the propaganda and he realizes it's shit. But yes, absolutely agree. Like the midwit is the great destroyer of Western civilization. Essentially, I'll use that to segue into this story. Sorry, go on.
Share my screen. Got this one as well. that happened earlier in the week.
All right, well, go on. All right.
Because
why am I still called Base Horse Girl?
Because last
You have
stream,
been the
isn't it?
entire stream. I was considering asking about it.
Oh wow! Did I not change I changed the profile pic, but not the name. Holy fuck!
I wasn't gonna say anything. I just let it go.
we should give Mochi the test after this.
Oh god.
Oh, now
The
I'm
base
curious.
horse girl test.
Oh Jesus!
Of course, the problem is who is the council estate lady going to vote for? They got Reform, and Reform want Bangladeshi students to be our leaders. Brilliant. You see
I think
his
I'd actually rather Bonnie Blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see his you see the face asymmetry typical of inbreeding that is common among his people. And everyone hated this.
Yeah, everyone hates it.
Hated this.
We're getting Tory playbooks from 6 years ago. You know, we've
Well,
sort of got, you know,
is
the
that
the
surprising?
brown faces of evil right wingism and the white faces of leftism. You know,
I'll have
it's
you know,
very
Mark.
much it's very
I'll
much
have you know.
2019 all over again.
I'll have you know much. Me and Tharian both know we have it on good authority that Reform are not doing Toryism.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah.
We've been
We're told by Reform faggots, but that, yeah, they're not doing this. Ignore all the Tories that they keep letting in, all the loser Tories, the dozens of them that they keep letting in every month. No. They're not the Tories. Don't worry, everyone. And then we got JFC in chat. He was based on Farage very early on, to his credit. And it's, yeah, it's coming true. They're just... Like, I really hope Rupolo just does something so we can destroy them. Because they need to go. But you're not a fan of Reform either, then, are you, Mochi?
Oh no, like I remember back when it was still the Brexit Party and people were talking about, you know, oh, it's going to become this new thing. And I was sort of looking at it and being like, that's not going to go anywhere. That's going to be another failed Farage party.
It had potential, but then you got the clips of like Farage saying how he's not interested in deporting illegal immigrants and that Islam is the future for us. We've got to appeal to them. And then I was excusing all that stuff at the time, going, I don't know, he's just trying to play to the moderates or something. But then, because we had Rupert Lowe in the party at the time, and he was saying all the base stuff, I thought, this has got to be the real plan, right? Rupert Lowe's the real plan. Then you have Mohammed Yusuf come in and kick out Rupert Lowe. And that was when it all really fell apart for me.
Oh, it was even before that for me, like before the last election. I just remember hearing it's like, oh, what's his face? Bo off Lotus Eaters. I think it was Bo or possibly Dan. But I just remember a couple of their commentators just got kicked out of the party for saying things that are now in the party manifesto. And it's like, oh, okay then.
Yeah. I mean, you can't believe anything they say.
Absolutely.
Completely useless. Can we talk about Carl Rittenhouse now?
Yeah.
The feel-good story of the week. Carl Rittenhouse got married. I was going to segue into this because you, Mochi, you were talking about like the snobbiness of the middle-class people. Because apparently in America, I mean, I'm not really into American Twitter, but apparently like a whole bunch of Americans were just like criticizing her because she's got tattoos and stuff. And it's just like, dude, like, what the holy fuck? It's 2025. Just got married. Like, I don't care if she's got tattoos and she's a bit podgy. I'm so fucking happy for them. Why would you be like a miserable cunt and try and shit on a guy like this? So I think there's a real problem with snobbiness, essentially. Like, people just like middle-class assholes sitting on Twitter. They're right-wing, supposedly. And yet they shit on. I don't know if Carl Rittenhouse is working class, but I don't think he's very wealthy. I don't think he comes from an extremely wealthy background. But they're just like, I don't know, shitting on somebody that they should be celebrating. They should be happy for him, but they're not, I suppose.
I think a lot of them are trying to link it to a broader point about like hoflation or whatever, and quoting that one tweet that's just like, young men today have to work 100 times harder for a woman, 100 times worse than a grandmother or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, this is, you know, this is a gun girl with tattoos. This seems like a fairly standard looks match.
Yeah, I mean, they look happy. Both
He's
of them
happy.
look happy. Yeah, he's happy, she's happy, everyone's happy, except for a bunch of idiots on.
She's
on
not
Twitter.
cucking him like Piers Morgan. So, what's the problem?
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of snobs out there. To be honest with you, I think there's a lot of snobs on the right wing.
There's a lot of gays as well.
I think a lot of them are trying to sort of link the tattoos to a sense of morality, where they're just like, oh, she's a worse caliber of woman than her grandmother because she has ink on her skin. Which I suppose there is a correlation in sort of female, like, I'm an art student. I know a lot of women with the sort of sketchbook doodle tattoos all over their arms, and there is a bit of a correlation between I'm going to put this on my body forever and, I guess, poor decision making. But I don't think it's necessarily a 1-to-1 or whatever.
This fucking guy.
It's Stephen SJJ there. He is an Indian, by the way, Mochi.
Yeah,
He lives
don't
in an
fall
illegal immigrant
for the
hotel.
broccoli haircut. He's pretending to be white. He's actually an Indian. He lives in a migrant hotel, and he works for Deliveroo. And
it's Deliveroo. It's not Amazon.
It's all of
whatever.
them.
It's both. He does whatever he can get. He's on the gig economy.
He's on that gig economy. Whatever he can get. You Uber on the side, mate. You did that.
And look at him criticizing white women. Unbelievable.
I bet he's invested in Ozempic.
He probably has, yeah.
Yeah, because he has.
Fucking guy. Can't come on the show, but he can watch and criticize. Look, well done, Carl Rittenhouse. We're all happy for you. Good job.
Hold on.
Sorry,
Since
go
he's
on.
here, shall we do my SJJ segment now?
Oh my god. Is it that time of the show? Yeah. Go on. Hang on.
Let me find the bits.
Okay.
Tune in next week. SJJ said he might be on.
He said he might be, yeah.
Yeah, all SJJ fans.
Well, you're not on next week, are you?
No, I'm afraid not. No, I wish I could be.
I know, like we're gonna run out. What about you, Moch? Do you think you'd come on next week, or is that too much to ask? I don't know. We could argue again for like an hour about March.
You do it on a Sunday. Like, the timing's difficult for me. I'm missing playing social deduction games with my friends for this.
Okay, all right, fair enough. We're gonna have to find somebody to cover while Mercian's away. I don't know what we're gonna do, but anyway,
I might be able to find someone. But we've got SJJ. Anyway, here he is.
Maybe
SJJ is the bottom one here, and he's punching white men.
Call him right now. Call him right now. He spit on me and I beat his ass.
The white man's patting him, so SJJ breaks out the Muay Thai,
I got all y'all on camera. You want to call
punches the white man.
I'm here.
Very, very bad behavior from SJJ there.
Yeah, fucking Deliveroo drivers.
Then
I'm always in awe of just how much American houses look like they're made of cardboard.
They are.
Yeah, it's a cardboard country.
Do you know, I watched
fake currency, fake people, fake houses.
Yeah, the houses are all just matchsticks, basically.
This is what happens when you have a fiat currency. Everything becomes fake.
Well, I watched a program called Garage Rehab. Are you familiar with Rich Rawlins of Gas Monkey Garage? Well, anyway, but basically, Rich Rawlins does a Kitchen Nightmare style program. You know where they send like a celebrity in to do it, and Rich Rawlins does garages, and he went in to save a garage in Key West in Florida that got damaged by a hurricane, and the roof had blown off and everything, and to fix the roof, they basically put wooden sheets down and then covered it in in just crap to stop the wood from rotting, I suppose. Well, all I'm thinking is, if another hurricane comes through, is that really going to hold up?
Yeah.
Now, I'm annoyed because I always get SJJ delivering my packages, and he's an ugly Indian. Why can't I ever get this lady? SJJ,
Boobs.
answer me
Why
this.
don't you have boobs delivered to your house, Tharium? This is the question.
I mean, like this lovely lady, she'd be great as a milkmaid on the estate, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I just get Indians like SJJ. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Tharium, are you saying delivery services need to do positive discrimination for big boob women?
I think we do.
And given the specific uniform to take full advantage of that.
I think we do. And final SJJ thing. He did share with us, what did he? I believe it was his Amazon wish list. Wasn't it?
Oh,
I think it was his Amazon wish list. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So here it is. Here's his Amazon wish list. Everyone, if you want to get him a gift, this is what you need to give us. So you see,
lowering the tone.
Oh, it's the gloves from earlier.
He's got his exercise equipment. He's got his exercise equipment, as you guess, and then this he told us it was to help him with the get his lower bottom strength in place for packages.
Tharium, lowering the tone of the live stream. Going for
I think we've got to blame SJJ. You know, he was saying how this is his Christmas list.
Yeah. Well, he did post it in the chat, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
unfortunately, everyone, we tried to warn everyone about the dangers of women's erotic fiction, but SJJ has taken a liking to it.
Oh. Yeah.
You see, he says lies, but I don't see him on here debating it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's true.
Right, you're going to have to come on next week to defend your honour, then. That's what has to happen.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to try and cleanse my palate. Let's ask things. Let's look at this, because you shared. No, I shared this with you. Somebody shared this with somebody. I don't know. So this is apparently slouching, keeps good posture. Yeah, Sharon. March, what do you think? Are you the girl on the left or the girl on the right?
I've got the posture of a shrimp, in all honesty. Like
the left.
Yeah.
The left then, yeah.
Do you stir in a circle or do you stir 6 to 9? Oh no, actually no, he swapped it around. This one's a dignified one. Now, I think elbows not on the table.
It's very performative, but I'm not going to pretend that it's not mostly true.
Do you bend down like that, or like which one's you?
For this one, I am actually the one on the right, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's dangerous to stick your ass out these days.
Yeah.
Got immigrants around, can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is like just a joke, funny video, but it's also actually kind of like there's something really serious to it. I mean,
you know, Mochi, you should send this to your buddy Scrump to help with his transition.
Scrump's not transgender.
Okay, yeah, you just bang him. Yes, it's much better.
Keeping good posture. So Moch, I know that you're a Zoomer. Have you heard of the Spice Girls?
I am aware of them. They were big before I was born, but I am aware of them.
So are you a Spice Girl?
I have been ginger for periods of my life, so I suppose I'm Ginger Spice, sure.
You've been ginger? Are you ginger? Really? Are you a Ginger? Are you part of the Ginger Master Race? Are you Irish?
Partially.
Oh wow, really? Oh, that's why you're so against English liberalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, typical. Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's segue into this. So my point is, we all want to be this guy, don't we? This is what, like, in case people don't know, like, every man dreams of being this fucking guy. Fucking
you know, they've started, and Piers Morgan also jumped to this, saying that this guy is a Muslim. Is named Ahmed something. That's all a lie. They made that up. This guy's name is actually Edward Crabford or something.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
but they're trying to push the idea that he was a Muslim. Like, oh, look at the good Muslims, but that was a lie.
What a fucking legend.
The guy who come to tackle him.
Yeah, they were trying to say that he was a Muslim.
The other thing they're pushing is, see, we don't need guns. Look, we can disarm people. It's sort of like, but it essentially tackled him with essentially a sucker punch. He snuck up on him. If that guy was facing him, do you think he'd be doing that?
Let's watch it. Let's have a look. Bush, boom. Yeah. So essentially, what I see here is brown man with gun gets taken out by based white dude who's like, get the fuck out of here. You know, this guy's like, what the fuck happened? Yeah, you just met a based Aussie, mate. That's what you met. What a legend. Anyway, I don't know. Like for every man watching this, it's like, this is like the ultimate dream, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, there's some kind of shooting and you just
I'd say finish him off as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that. But whatever.
Yeah.
What was his name again? What was his real name?
Edward Crabford, I think.
Edward Crabford. What a legend. You're up there with the stars. You're up there with who was the guy on the London Bridge terrorist attack? What was his name? The Millwall guy, the Lion of
Millwall.
Yeah.
He got arrested and sent to the counter-extremism police because they thought he might become a bit racist.
Yeah.
The guy who stopped the terror attack.
Yeah. Interestingly, he shouted at them. He says, "I'm fucking Millwall." So there you go, Mosh. There's your localism. Came out. Push come to shove. He didn't sing for England. He sang for fucking Millwall. Yeah, what a legend. What a bloke. What a guy. So anyway, like terrorist attack in Australia. What do we want to say about this, guys? What's your political commentary?
I mean, it's not unexpected, is it?
Yeah.
There was another attack just foiled in France of some Muslims from Egypt and Morocco, I think, planning to run over Christmas market. It's like this. It's just the world, isn't it?
Are there any markets left where you could actually physically do that still?
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. They've got all the tank barriers up now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I've never been to a Christmas market. I've always found it too expensive, but shame on me,
yeah,
I
don't really see the point. Unless you've got kids. What's the point of Christmas if you don't have children? It's just a drinking festival, isn't it? To be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of in-depth based commentary you want to make on this. It's like if you import a bunch of foreigners into your country, then this is what you get. You get terrorism. I think they were attacking the Jews. I mean, we've got the other big story. So
I did see
a 15-year-old girl raped by two Afghan. Sorry, go on.
Before you get on that, I did see Piers Morgan saying, or he finds that attack horrific, that last one, and I did see Dan Tubbs saying, "No, you don't. I find this horrific. You think it's worth the price of a curry."
It's worth the price of curry.
Yeah.
Yep. Piers Morgan's got to go down. Like that whole media franchise, it's got to go down. It's got to be torn down.
Yep.
I mean, I don't like you can say you're attacking right, but it's like, well, not really. We're attacking the left wing.
I don't think anyone can consider it punching right to go after Piers Morgan.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people out there that consider him to be right wing and a free speech warrior. Unfortunately, there are a lot of stupid people out there. So,
what free speech is he actually for? I mean, like, was it free speech during COVID? I mean, what free speech is he for exactly?
He doesn't even want to say faggot. So,
yeah.
It's just all the image, isn't it? He's like the tough guy sort of image he tries to put across with his uncensored, stupid show.
Yeah, I feel like he's tapping into that reform base. And grifter is the term.
Yeah. But yeah. Then we have this story, of course, as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I don't really know what to say about. So, 15-year-old girl raped by 2 Afghan boat migrants and captured on the phone. The footage on the phone was so appalling that one of the boys' barristers warned it would lead to rioting if the public were to see it. So essentially, like, look, you got a bunch of 15-year-old girls, and they're chavs or the chavettes, whatever you want to call them. They go on the streets, they drink. Okay, we've always had this problem. We've always had teenage girls behaving in this kind of manner. The thing is that, like, when we were more of a homogeneous country, they wouldn't get raped. But nowadays, young white working class girls end up getting raped by Muslims. And some people on the internet are saying, "Oh, it's their fault because they're a bunch of slags." And it's like, well, our slags are our problem. Okay, this is our problem to deal with, and they don't deserve
this girl was dragged there. She was dragged there, and she was calling for help.
Right.
And yeah, and apparently someone did turn up, but then sort of saw what's going on and just walked away. Probably another fucking foreigner.
Right. I didn't know that. Okay.
And like, again, like the footage, I mean, it must be bad, right? And the problem is, we're so dead to headlines now, right? Oh,
yeah,
another girl gets raped. Yeah. But it's like, people are moved by footage of stuff more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's endless. It's every week we sit here, we do this live stream, we talk about the news. I mean, wasn't it a couple of weeks ago? It was a 12-year-old girl, 2 Afghans. Wasn't, a week before that was something else. Like, it's just endless. Endless.
Well, as I said 2 streams ago, we need to be remembering the names, what happened, the date, and we should memorize everything. So when someone says, "Oh, these immigrants don't do anything," you just reel it off, boom, 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 and like you can't even stop for air.
Yeah.
I'd like a place where I could start to try and do that.
Yeah. Well, the left are very good at that. They have their martyrs, and we do seem to forget. And I'm guilty of this. I forget the martyrs, to be honest with you.
I do. I forget it all the time. But if I'm pushed, well, what happens? And then suddenly, brain goes, "Oh, I can't remember it." And you know damn well it's happened. I need it like a Pavlovian response.
Yeah.
Like without even
well,
thinking.
I think, like, I don't understand why the parents don't speak out, because they should be at the forefront.
The parents, whenever there is an incident like this, the parents and the family of these groups basically have, like, there is a dedicated office of the British state that sole purpose is basically to go around to the relatives whenever something like this happens and goes, "You don't want to start a race riot, do you?" And I believe it's called a nudge unit, but they essentially go to them like, you are going to say the lines, or bad shit's going to happen, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's where the whole "don't look back in anger" AstroTurf came from after Manchester. I remember Manchester was a huge deal. I was a 13-year-old girl at the time. I was peak Ariana Grande, target demographic. And I remember just hearing that happened on the school bus. And then,
So what did your teenage girlfriend say? Like, what did the 13-year-old teenage, what did they think of that?
Well, no one knew the cause at the time. I just remember being on the bus and hearing, like, oh, we're all on the bus right after school, so we've all got access to our phones for the first point in the day, and everyone's, changing their profile picture to the Ariana Grande, like, bunny ears thing that was her symbol at the time. And I'm going, why is everyone doing that? Her music's a bit shit. And they're going, oh my God, how dare you? That's so disrespectful. Look at what's just happened. We were, like, literally children at the time. But no, it got immediately memory hold. No one talks about Manchester anymore. Even Ariana herself does the whole, like, oh, how dare you hate Muslims thing, even though, children were murdered at her concert by an Islamic terrorist.
Yeah, but I'm just curious, like, because you're a Zoomer, like, and you're right
I mean, it was
like,
like
what
okay.
are all your friends? Because you've grown up in all of this shit.
Well, yeah, it's normal for us. You know, people say like what's no longer revelation is normalization. You know,
Yeah.
when I was sort of becoming a teenager, it was every couple of weeks there was another terrorist attack and there was another hashtag on social media. I remember I think the first one I remember was hashtag pray for Paris, and then there was the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting, and then there was Manchester, and you know there was something every couple of months. That was just normal for me as a child, that there would be a sort of once in a lifetime terrorist event every couple of months, and it would be in the news cycle for a couple of weeks, and then it would be gone, and then there would be the next one. That's been normal for an entire generation.
Mm.
So people just even make big news. This won't be talked about in normal circles.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember the train attack in, like, what was it, 2005 or whatever, when they bombed
7/7?
Yeah. I remember, and at that time I worked in a factory, and I remember everybody in the factory talked about it. And I remember like working with like one girl, and she was just an ordinary girl. She turns around and she says to me that they should be buried alive in pig skins or something like really extreme like this. And that was kind of like ordinary for people to say back then, because it was more of a homogeneous nation. It was like, ooh. But after the Axel Rudder-Cabana attack, maybe it was the place where I was working. I don't know. Maybe it would have been different somewhere else, but nobody said anything.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, the Axel Rudder-Cabana, like the Southport massacre, was very quickly contained. It was very quickly turned into, you know, let's unite against the far right because they're saying that the guy who did it was a Muslim and a foreigner, both of which turned out to be completely true. But you know, it was very quickly, the narrative was taken control of. And there were these massive counter demonstrations everywhere, and it suddenly became, you know, a victory for the left. You know, we've shown up and we've outnumbered the far right, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
and that was put away very quickly. So in the sort of mind of the normie, sort of vaguely lefty type, that was just sort of a cultural victory for them, if nothing else. It's we stood up to the far right. It's trying to spread hate in the wake of this massacre, in the wake of this tragedy, because they do genuinely view it as some sort of natural disaster every time a stabby foreigner decides to murder some locals. They genuinely view it as just sort of it's like they view it as if it's sort of, you know, a mudslide or a flood or something. It's just unavoidable.
Yeah. Well, it is. It is. But this is the world they want. It's part and parcel of our multicultural utopia.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's kind of depressing because, I mean, people have been saying for years, or like the energy is building up, people are waking up. And it's like, well, I remember 10 years ago, I remember Katie Hopkins. I don't know why this sticks in my mind, but I remember Katie Hopkins talking about 10 years ago, and she said, you know, she got into a black cab taxi in London, and she was talking to the taxi driver, and the taxi driver felt that he could talk to her, and she was saying, oh, there's such a tension in the air, things are going to kick off. And it's like, well, that was 10 years ago.
Exactly. The masses are already red-pilled and nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened. Yeah. I mean, I remember back in 2010 when they had the census, and it was front page on all of the tabloids, just like massive demographic change, massive, and everyone was talking about it, and everyone was shocked by it. It was 15 years ago now. It's like, Jesus Christ, you know.
I mean, the thing is, like,
but people were openly talking about it 15 years ago, and nothing changed.
Yeah. You had essentially race riots before I was born, over like locally, over the sort of the grooming that was happening in the north. You know, you had actual, you know, essentially shop windows being, you know, bashed in and fires set. You had people violently protesting over the grooming gangs when they were, I can't even say first happening, but, you know, first en masse happening in these highly immigrant areas. You had actual sort of race riots even back then, and they've been largely memory hold. You see a lot of people who have sort of become political commentators more recently talk about, you know, everyone's getting red pilled on the grooming gangs now. It's like, no, people knew about this 20 years ago. It's why the BNP was able to get was almost able to control a council in Dagenham. You know, people have known about this for a long time. So even when you get things like talking about shifting the Overton window, it's like, no, people have always hated this.
Yeah, although I do think, like, on like a more positive point, I do think like the middle classes are running out of places to run, because I live in the West Country and I live in quite a white part of the country, and it's like it's filled with Londoners who just like move down here and they buy up all the property, and
oh yeah,
you meet them in the pub and they say, oh, I'm from London, and you say to them, oh, you're running for the multiculturalism, and they'll be like, oh, I'm not racist, and it's like, yeah, you fucking are. That's why you moved down. You know, they're just like the most awful people ever. But I think like they're running out of places to run, and I think when the middle class finally runs out of places to hide from the demographic change, then maybe they'll wake up. I don't know.
I don't think they'll wake up. I think they'll just start going. But it was always like this.
Yeah.
No. We've always had, you know, hundreds of Asian men milling about in the middle of the day not doing anything. We've always had delivery drivers, you know. I don't think they're going to wake up. I think they're just going to change their memories.
The Lib Dems are primed to be super racists. We've just got to figure out the right sort of code to set them off. Yeah. It's like, and you remember that Green councillor woman who was like, oh, we love our refugees. And then there was some were going to be housed near her, and it's like, oh, hell no, they're not coming here. They're going somewhere else. And this is the Green Party.
Yeah.
NIMBYs.
Well, you can only hope. You can only hope that people are going to wake up. I mean, I don't know what to say. Depressing, isn't it? It's fucking hell.
Well, I also think like the Bulgarian mafia corrupt government is a lot less evil than ours. You know, their government resigning, I think they're less evil than ours is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I mean, it's like just like how Starmer is going on right now when he is the least popular prime minister in history. You'd think they might think, okay, like, we're sorry, we've clearly lost the will of the public to govern. We're not legitimate anymore. In an actual like good system, that's what he would do. But they're not. They're just plowing on. Fuck you, people. We're going to do what we want.
Yeah. I wanted to mention because
that great strike thing. You can't have an end date on it.
Yeah, I'm not really into the great strike. I just thought it was interesting. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention, because I don't have seen anybody else talking about it. Some guy at work told me about this because his child is in school and they closed down the school. But there is something called Operation Pegasus. So essentially, this is a government lockdown. What do they call these things? Like, they get a bunch of elites and they get them in a room and they kind of like war game what would happen if we had a lockdown. And they did something called Operation Pegasus. This was a couple of months ago, and now they're shutting down schools all around the country. I think like 250 schools have been shut down because of the flu. So I don't know if this is going to be as big as the coronavirus, big lockdown. I don't know if this is a second run of this. Obviously, they don't seem to be doing this in China or America or whatever. But are they having a kind of second stab at it? Maybe. I don't know. This is like a blip on the radar in the horizon. Keep your eyes peeled. Maybe this will turn into something bigger, or maybe it'll be a nothing burger. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of this is them sort of just the school system in general desperately trying to adapt to modern technology. I was in school for the original lockdowns. I just turned 16 when we went into lockdown the first time, and it was rough. But I think a lot of this is tied to I don't even know what you call it, but schools these days are basically a shit show. You've got mental health referrals through the roof, and every parent is trying to get their kid some sort of mental health referral because it gets you extra time in the tests, and everyone wants something. And I think a lot of it, and there is a rapidly rising just truancy issue. I think a lot of this is them trying to go like, we can get the kids into school if we have them come in via Zoom. Like snow days aren't a thing anymore. They'll just say come in on Zoom.
Right. Did you take the vax, Mock?
I did not.
Good for you. Was there a lot of pressure on you to take it?
I got called a plague rat every day by my family.
Nice.
Wow.
I was the only one going anywhere, you know. Like I just turned 16, so I had my GCSEs cancelled because of COVID. I never had to do them. I just got handed my predicted. But after that, so after the initial like March to August lockdown, after that initial one, I was back in school full time all the time, and we had to like initially it was just whatever. But then as it sort of got into the winter of 2021, winter of 2020, early 2021, they got very hard on the okay, everyone's going to wear a mask all the time, and they had some truly horrific policies. I wasn't like I considered myself quite lucky for being the age I was. Again, my exams got cancelled, and then when I came back after the first lockdown, I was in sixth form, so it was a slightly different kettle of fish. But I was in the same school for 7 years, so you know, leaving after GCSEs and coming back from sixth form didn't really feel like that much of a change. But you know, I was in sixth form. You know, having to wear my mask inside for 6 hours a day and having to pull it back up between bites because that was the policy. You know, we were only allowed to take it off to eat, but we had to pull it back up while we were chewing.
Yeah.
But we had other shit
mental,
like,
wasn't it? That was just
we had other shit like, you know, I was permitted to be inside during the lunch hour because you know we were the 16 to 18-year-old sixth formers, so we were considered safe to be inside. But they made all of the lower school, so the 11 to 16-year-olds, they made them all stay outside the entire lunch hour because they weren't trusted to be inside because they would be sat in too close proximity to each other. They weren't able to spread them out enough.
I saw some of the schools, they had like squares, and every outside, all the students had to be in their little square.
Yeah, every single year group had to be in its individual part of the. For us, it was a netball court. They like every year group got segregated into their own netball court. But no, a load of girls. I went to an all-girls school, so it's just girls. So give the terminology. A load of girls got incredibly sick because they were made to go outside in the middle of December. Which you know, if you're outside for an hour at a time and you're just there in your sort of thin cotton school uniform, yeah, you're gonna get a cold. You're gonna get a flu. So they were trying to chuck it up to like, oh, it's COVID related. No, these are you know. Healthy young girls, they're a much greater threat is posed to their health by making them stand outside in the cold for hours on end than would just be letting them mingle inside with the chance of COVID happening. There was that. There was other shit as well. So I remember one of my lessons was in this room in a new part of the building that had only been constructed during COVID. You know, they used the lockdown as an excuse to do a load of building work at the school while there were no kids there. And this entire part of the building was built with, I think it's called convection heating. But essentially, they didn't have radiators. It was all just air circulatory, which, guess what you're not allowed to use when there's an airborne virus in play? So a load of my lessons were in a part of the school that has no heating whatsoever. They also mandate that the windows be kept open constantly to do airflow or whatever. It's also December, mind you, and because it's a classroom and we all have to be spread out, all of the tables are pushed as far away from each other as they possibly can be. So I am sat directly under a window in the middle of December for 2 hours because it's a double period. Directly.
Are you allowed to wear a coat?
In a room with. No, because that would be breaking uniform rules.
Oh, wow.
So I'm there in my little cotton suit. And what I had with me, I'm wearing like vest, shirt, jumper, blazer, and I've got a hot water bottle on my lap, which I used to get up once an hour to refill from the canteen. But yeah, it would get to the end of second period, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, sir. I can't actually write anymore because I can't feel my hands.
Man.
And they would not let me move away from the window because if I moved my seat away from the window, I would be too close to another student.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
It really was ridiculous during COVID, the stuff they did. And we had like the one-way system where you're only allowed to go up certain staircases and down others and at certain directions in corridors, you know, that kind of thing. It was tyranny at its finest.
Yeah.
What were the other kids like? Were they sort of accepting it? Were they sort of all playing along? Like,
I don't know what it was like in normal schools. As I said, I went to an all-girls school and I went to a grammar school, so we had like very much sort of future managerialist midwits is the majority population of my school.
So they loved it.
Yeah, a lot of them loved it. The sort of rebellious streak ones were the ones who were going like, no, I'm not gonna fucking wear your mask. But no, the first lockdown was more bearable, I suppose, because there was at least an element of everyone's in it together, hating the dumb restrictions. And, you know, hating it more just because it's the school saying to do stuff for no particular reason rather than, you know, disagreeing with, like, the politics of it. But when it got to, like, 2021 and my second year of sixth form, the vax stuff, everyone was pushing it so hard. I just lied. I was just like, yeah, I got Moderna? I don't know. They didn't press me on it. I just sort of lied by omission more than anything. But no, it was very much a you cannot speak your mind even slightly or face total social ostracization over the vax issue. That was a major thing during sort of late 2021.
Yeah, it was really crazy. It did. So your parents wanted you to take the vax, and you said no.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah, so my situation during lockdown was I'm an only child, so I was locked in a house with just my parents, who are both, you know, sort of office drones, who, you know, very easily just made the transition to work from home. So they were getting groceries delivered and, they were getting groceries delivered and literally never leaving the house for any reason whatsoever. Whereas I'm there, you know, getting the bus an hour each way every day and going to school. So I'm just like, yeah, I mix with hundreds of other people every day, whereas you two haven't left the house since March. You know, it was very much that situation. So I was getting called a plague rat and not being allowed to see my extended family because they were scared of me.
Oh, wow.
Did you catch it? Did you catch COVID?
No, I never got COVID.
I think I did. I did, and it was a slightly sore throat for a few days.
I remember getting a really, really bad flu. And
that's probably it then.
Yeah, it's probably it. I think it was just like a really bad version of the flu. I think that's all it was, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe it was genetically engineered or not. I mean, who knows? But it certainly didn't kill me.
Well, the other thing is, everyone was talking about like it never happened before, but its official name turned out to be COVID SARS-2.
Yeah,
or SARS-CoV-2. Do you, Bruce, Tharium, you might remember this, but I know you, Bruce. Do you remember in the early 2000s when the first SARS virus came about?
Vaguely, yeah. I remember them locking down the countryside sometime. That was kind of wild. Like you weren't allowed to go for a walk.
That was foot and mouth, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, they locked down the countryside. I got very bored, so I would go roller skating around my village, just sort of in the park. And I sat down on the swings to take my skates off so I could walk home. And a woman literally ran at me from the village, from the car park, to tell me I wasn't allowed to be on the equipment.
Wow.
I only sat down to change my shoes. And she was there. She was just in the car park, sat waiting for some kid to try and use the play equipment.
Yeah, people really lost their minds. It was very shocking. I remember being at work, and it really brought out like the bad side of things, because I worked in a factory, so they told us to wear the mask. So I'm like, okay, so it's PPI, you know, you got to wear like gloves and hats and snoods and things anyway. So I wore the mask at work, but I always have like my nose sticking out so I could breathe, and there'd always be some fucking asshole who'd just be like, cover your nose, pull your mask up, you know, and you could just feel they were getting off on it, you know. They got this power. They got this power now to tell somebody else what to do. You know what I mean? So I think
I loved it.
They loved it, yeah.
My point was going to be though, I think it was 2002. I do remember foot and mouth in 2001, but it was 2002 or 2003. SARS was going round, and people were very worried about that then. But I think the political, where the politics of the globe was, it changed that much that it allowed lockdowns to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot more evil. The evil has been growing and festering.
Yeah.
I think it's a lack of religion, to be honest with you. I mean, imagine they closed the churches. Like, it's just incredible.
Well,
If people actually believed in God, they'd be like, nah, no.
Well, the other thing is they followed China in this.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows how much political capital China have been having lately.
Well, this is my point. I think this is what I think they want to roll out. They want to roll out a Chinese-style technocracy. They want UBI. They want a social credit score. They want a cashless society. And this is what the elites want. Henry Kissinger, the Jew, opened up China and pushed forward all this capitalism in China and so on and so forth. They deindustrialized America, moved all the factories to China, made China very wealthy. And whilst they did it, they pushed forward essentially what is a technocracy. And now they want to bring it to the whole world. That's the plan. They want to copy China. So the whole COVID lockdown, as you say, is a Chinese lockdown. It's Chinese policy copied from China. And they want the whole world to copy all of China's policies, as far as I understand it. I mean, this is what they're aiming for. Like you look at the Communist Revolution, they had a manifesto. They had the Communist Manifesto. They had Karl Marx. They had a philosophy. They had an ideology. They wanted to follow it, and there was a clear dream of the utopia. But with technocracy, there doesn't really seem to be a clear dream of this is what we're going to do. They're not really very concerned with getting the masses on their side. They just want to nudge us. Essentially,
they want complete control. This is why I'll try again, because there'll always be a novel virus or some because I can name in the last 25 years. So SARS in 2002, then there was MERS in the late 2000s, norovirus. It happens all the time, and I remember during the time of COVID, it's like, oh, this has never happened before. I'm like, this happens all the fucking time. There's always a new virus out.
Yeah, it's a method of control.
What I feel like is we've been through the rule of the merchants. We've had that for a few decades. Now we're going into the rule of the nerds, kind of, with the technocracy.
Oh wow!
And they are, it is absolute control with them.
Yeah,
and that's you see how it's going with that. And really, we need the warriors to come in and beat the nerds up again, restore order.
Well, I am of the opinion that the nerds have destroyed Western civilization, and I am of this opinion because I've watched it roll out. I remember in the 90s playing Warhammer 40k in my bedroom with a friend, and I remember a guy coming in the room and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he's like, Warhammer 40k was like nerdy and awful. And then I remember through the course of the noughties, there was a celebration of nerd culture. It's like nerds came to the top. It was with the whole like Mark Zuckerberg's Silicon Valley explosion of computer games, all of this thing. It was like all of us, comics started being turned into movies and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, there was a great celebration of the nerd, the guy that had been squashed under, and the enemy was the jock. Right, the muscly guy that was good at sports or whatever. Of course, all of this is downstream from American culture, but whatever. It's a similar thing in this country. Like the muscly sports guy, he's an idiot, but the nerds, they win in the end. They're the ones that become the billionaires, like Mark Zuckerberg, right? And this culture took over, and then we had the millennial generation, and then we had Marvel superhero movies, and everything's been shit ever since. And we need to go back to bullying people that read comics. Basically, that's what we need to go back to.
But they've got the money now, and they've got everyone. All the politicians are all playing along, all doing exactly what they want. I mean, like even like Trump. He recently lifted the ban on Nvidia selling its top end GPUs for AI to China,
right?
Because the nerds have their fist shoved so far up his ass. That they get whatever they want, and they need to be crushed.
Yeah, I mean, like this is what Whitney Webb's going on about, like the what does she call it? The PayPal mafia.
Yeah,
is deep into the MAGA movement. Essentially, they've got Trump, and the neocon agenda has essentially been kind of like relabeled. Like they're pretending not to be neocons, but they kind of still are. It's just they're rolling all of this stuff out, but they're rolling it out as kind of like a right-wing policy instead of a left-wing policy. Like you've got Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, and they're all of a sudden they're all pro-Trump now. And it's like, well, Elon Musk wants H-1B visas, okay, and he wants UBI. He wants universal basic income. So he's not really very right-wing. I mean, I do. I'm grateful for the limited amount of freedom of speech I have on Twitter, although I think it's just the same freedom of speech that we had when Obama was president. But whatever. I mean, I'll take it, and I'm grateful for him talking about grooming gangs or whatever. But still, he's still like when Jack Dorsey was in charge of Twitter. Twitter was white, and it's not anymore. Right? You know, it's run by brown people. And Elon Musk hasn't done anything about it. In fact, he's defending it.
I mean, Elon Musk does seem to hold Europe to a different standard, though. I think he wants Europe to remain pure, and he's happy to corrupt America, which I'm all for.
Right, because you hate America.
Yeah, they're the enemy.
It's our child. Do you want to murder our child? It's our baby.
Sometimes you have to. You know, if your child becomes evil, you brought that evil into the world, you've got to take it out.
Yeah, it's not even that I hate America. I just recognize a lot of like America isn't even aware that they do it. They're not aware that they're doing it. That's why they get really defensive when I go off. Yeah. All I'm trying to point out to Americans is it's not. I don't want to say it's necessarily their fault per se, but you have to recognize what is happening.
Yeah.
And it's not me attacking all the American people.
I mean,
it's just an observation of what's happening.
I saw this a bit from this one stream the other day, and there's this American on it, and he's going, "Oh my god!" Like, and he's talking to this Australian guy, and he's going, "Do you sometimes just wish that America was an empire and we like controlled all your countries?" I'm thinking, "Oh my fucking god, what are you talking about? This is exactly what you are." And they're just so clueless. They have no idea how their country actually runs.
Yeah, it runs the world via culture mainly. Like,
finance is a big one. They're heavy on that. Like we have to subsidize their money printing through, which is their sort of, their imperial tithes. We have to buy their fake paper money.
Yeah, well, I always think about the culture because we get a lot of American films and TV over here. I think that's how it penetrates. Like, I don't think like American TV's always been a thing over here, but I think by the 90s and later, it kind of took over, and I feel like people watching so much American movies and TV that thought they were in America.
Yeah. I mean, we've got that whole we are a nation of immigrants shit. They're so trying to pull here.
Yeah.
Which is everything's an American import. Everything woke is an American import.
Yes, that's been my point. Americans, when they hear that, they go off on a thing. So like, we didn't do that. We saw well, you got to think about if you're an American, you've got to think about why it's happening in other countries, because I'll tell you what, if it wasn't American influence, at least culturally, you can't really explain it. Like, why would someone in this country say we're a secular nation? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Brutus. Brutus decided he's done and decided we need fun videos to watch.
I found a fun video.
Sorry, I had myself muted. I was responding. I didn't realize. Somebody in the chat said surfing motorbike. It's like, wow, there it is. That's fucking cool as fuck. Holy shit. Anyway, there you go. The last question is: are you a horse girl or a Subaru? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go there. We won't.
Poor Mercian.
Poor Mercian. We're not going to do that. 3 hour
What is
mark.
a Subaru?
The car, Subaru.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cars. I drive a 15-year-old clanker.
Okay. Cool.
Share my video.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I thought this looks like fun.
Okay.
Who rin? The dwarves or the camel?
Passing Mike Murga and is in front of him by at least 4 or 5 yards.
Camel's going to win.
Well, they've got their relay team. So they got a fresh dwarf coming in.
Oh, that is a bad pass. That's a bad pass.
Oh.
But Frank Gibb is just turning it off. Boy, is he moving? He's covering some ground and closing
Wow.
down. The camel is slowing down, and it's anybody's race. We're down to the finish line, and it is a photo finish.
I
That's
think the
way
camel
too close
won.
to call.
Yeah, the camel
What a
won.
race.
Yeah. Yeah, camel. I'm on the side of the camel with the camel v dwarf.
Yeah.
Eternal race war. Anyway, 3 hour mark. Gonna end the stream. That was very enjoyable. Had a great show. Thanks for coming on, Moch. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed chatting to you.
Thank you for having me on.
And I hope you come on again at some point. And I don't know what to say. Like, Mercian, what's your final thought for the show?
I like turtles.
You like turtles? Good. Tharium?
Camel supremacy.
So bad at ending the show.
Like it came out of nowhere. It's like, well, fucking, what do? I'll do a meme answer. Fuck it.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Moch, you're the bass zoomer girl on the show. We'll give the last word to you. End the show. Give us some philosophical insight. Tell us what is in your heart. Moch, go ahead.
Elite theories based populism is a delusion. Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, you're completely wrong about all of that because you're too young and too stupid. But anyway, thank you very much for coming on the show. God bless everybody. See you next week, next Sunday. And Nima Parvini needs to be deported. Good night.